Hey, this is Chase Sexton. You're listening to the MotoXpod show.
What's up, you guys? Jeremy McGrath here. You are listening to MotoXpod show.
Congratulations to France on winning another Motocross of Nations, winning in their home country in Renee France this past weekend. We're going to get into Motocross of Nations. A lot to talk about with that event. Pretty exciting. It feels like we've been gone for a long time, even though it was only 1 week off technically. But, yeah, we'll get into all that stuff. Before we do, we'll talk about Chase Sexton. He officially announced to Red Bull KTM. So that might be a topic that comes up tonight. It might not be. We'll talk about TJ riding at some track that had turf. That was kind of interesting. Kind of unique facility, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, something different. I don't know how I feel about it just yet. Millville Ride Day is coming up. I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm back. I rode last weekend. I'm back, baby. Ironman GNCC, better watch out. But before we get into that, first, working the cameras, as always, Scotty Thompson. What's up, Scotty?
Yep, just over here, just being the punching bag as I always am.
Well, man, you walk right into it every time.
Yep.
Walk right into it.
Yep, that's what happens.
Also in studio, TJ Smith. You're here.
Yes, sir.
For once.
For once?
For once. About
Once a month?
Yeah, once a month. That's
If that.
Yeah. Your pay is being docked, by the way.
You guys are getting paid?
Yeah, he's paid in pizzas.
Pizzas.
And on the line, fresh off some 450 shootouts. I don't know how much he's going to be able to talk about it with Vital MX. Michael Lindsay. What's up, Michael?
250 shootout.
250 shootout. Oh, yeah. 450s come second.
One of these days, I believe in you in these intros. One of these days.
You just keep believing. Just keep
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Don't stop believing. I try.
It's all an act. It's all an act.
Oh, yeah.
You were telling him he's a great punching bag. As soon as I hear that, I'm like, man, it's coming from fucking experience with you.
There's some truth to that. Yeah. It's all right. I've just gotten used to it. Scotty's still over here. He sheds a tear at least once an episode.
Yeah.
But
sleep
TJ
right
and I
at
have
night
a group
because of it.
text where we're like, how can we get Scotty to cry tonight? What should we do?
That's literally the name of the group text.
Yes.
Isn't it?
We would let Scotty in the group text, but he doesn't have an iPhone, so his phone doesn't work.
Oh, God. People with green bubbles.
Bro.
Yeah, dude. It's
You're not even a real person.
It's kind of gross, actually.
Y'all should see people on YouTube. If we could just had a camera that just zoomed in on his face right now, he just looks so dejected.
He's crying a little bit.
Hey,
How's those people list things? They're like a turn off, and most people with a chick would list like, oh, if they smoke cigarettes, it's like, oh, if you text them and a green bubble comes up, like, ooh.
Oh yeah, that's actually I think an official check mark on Tinder and Hinge these days. Is iPhone user, and if you check no, then you get automatically like 80% of the population's out.
That's great.
Well, listen, we may have some discussion about our family to the Great White North, Team Canada.
Yeah.
A bit of a rough weekend. We'll get into a few things. In this Boyesen Open discussion, I want to remind you guys that Boyesen is spotlighting their Boyesen Factory Racing's rider support program. What?
Oh, just listening to him, I guess, opening his bathroom.
You in a
door or
haunted
something.
house, or where are you at?
Oh, is that ML?
Oh, is it that loud?
Yeah, it's
oh,
pretty
wow.
loud.
Oops.
I know it's October.
Just making things entertaining here.
Okay.
It's a Halloween thing.
The Boysen's Factory
Almost that
Racing's
episode.
Rider Support Program is a comprehensive support system for motocross and off-road riders. The program offers participants exclusive access to Boysen's products, yearly discounts, and potential to become one of their new product development test riders. So join the community of Boyesen Factory Flyers by visiting boyesen.com to apply now. Boyesen Open discussion. Yeah, I want to get into Motocross of Nations a little bit. ML, you didn't get to go. I didn't get to go. We were up fairly early watching both days what we could. What are your major takeaways? We're going to kind of just highlight a few things from each of us. What's the number one thing for UML that stands out?
Number one thing, I was actually joking with Lewis about this earlier. I was like, look, after the first moto, I said, did it hit you that we were all underestimating Team France, or we overestimated everybody else just to trick ourselves into thinking there was actually a chance anybody was going to beat France. Because I said after even qualifying, but partway into the first moto, I just remember looking at the screen and go, I'm an idiot. France was going to win this going away with it. What was I thinking? Just started laughing. We were just like, the same thing, like, yep. I don't know if it's just that thing where we were talking about. It's like the same thing at A1. You're like, oh, there's 8 guys that could win the championship. No, there isn't. You just trick yourself into thinking these things. France was going to win it by a freaking mile the whole time. I don't know what I was trying to trick myself into.
But, okay, they did win by a huge gap. They were
is that the biggest gap that has been in a while?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, it's very, like, not to somehow downplay what we did past, but like the U.S. won for years because, and I get it why Euros always tells, oh, it's cool because you guys can show up with 3 legit dudes. It kind of is true. Like, France showed up with 3 world champions. Look what happened.
But on paper, when you look at the other teams, like, they don't seem like they should be that far off.
Yeah, I was convincing myself that Renault was worse because of how he was the last couple of GPs. We look on, okay. Oh, at one point I'm like, well, maybe Germany has an outside shot, and this is no offense, but Koch, like, okay, yeah, that's an automatic, huh? Australia's got a real chance. No, it's Dean Ferris. Like, Dean's good, but he's not that good. Like,
yeah, I guess, but like, you just need one decent moto out of one of those guys.
No, you don't. You need more than that.
No, I'm saying, like, okay, Australia.
I convinced
just taking Australia and Dean Ferris. Like, you needed one decent moto out of Dean. One decent moto is all we need.
No, they didn't. They also needed better, and it's not that, like, countries go too bad. Look how amazing Vial was. That's what I'm saying. That's where we've been as US before. So we've had amazing 250 riders as well. Cool, take all those teams that we thought were good and they had 1 weak guy. They also needed an amazing performance out of their 250 guy. Don't get me wrong, Hunter rode good for his circumstances with his back, but Tom was amazing.
Yeah. Well, like, I thought, I mean, just like we go to Belgium, I thought Belgium would have been better.
Yeah.
Hard pack, nah.
All right.
They had some bad luck, but I didn't expect, like, especially all 3 guys on the team are hard pack guys.
Well,
like Kai DeWolf. No offense, like I thought Kai actually rode very well in some of his races, but he's not a hard pack guy. Liam is okay, everybody, and same thing. They're all more like intermediate to sand guys. They've had some decent results on hard pack, but they're not going to beat the French on hard pack.
Yeah, maybe it's just wishful thinking, but it's true.
See, this is what I'm saying. When you just start laying it down, it's like they had a chance. That's why I said after the first one, I'm like, I'm an idiot. I convinced myself like this was possible. It wasn't. Like I mean, you're the idiot. Exactly. You have to run race. Like we drove racing. Like you have to go racing. But the more I looked at it, I was just like, wow, I really tricked myself on this one.
Would they have still won without dropping a race?
Oh God, probably.
It had to be close, right? I can't remember what the last. I didn't see what the last the result they dropped.
Tom's first moto score, I think, was their worst moto score, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was an 8. They dropped an 8.
Yeah, they would have definitely still won without even dropping.
Yeah, because just looking at the other scores, like Australia's drop was a 16, but then they had a 12, a 10. So half their finishes were worse than France's. Yeah, it was a bit of a beatdown.
The cool part, I mean, it was definitely a battle for the end of the podium. I mean, after the first race or two, it was like, okay, Aussie's got a really strong, lock on second unless something happened. But the battle for third was interesting. I didn't expect Italy to get it. Hats off to, you have the name sheet in front of you. I still haven't memorized the name, but the EMX rider that stepped up to open. Thank you, Bonacorsi. He raced EMX. He did fantastic for his first 450 race. I mean, when you look at the open deal, he's being guys that legitimately are supposed to be 450 guys, and this guy's just got thrown to the wolves, and he put on an amazing performance. The rest, Ferraro had up and down performances, but still pretty solid. Like Italy, hats off to them for third.
Yeah, I think Bonacorsi was one of the big surprises for me because I didn't know anything about the guy, but he's one of those guys where I'm saying a lot of these teams have a third guy that maybe isn't very, very well known yet, or from a different type of, they've in the past we've had like off-road guys come in and race for different teams, but didn't know much about Bonacorsi, but he was solid, right? And that's really what you need to be successful. Maybe not to win, but you need a solid performance by these guys, and he came in and did his job.
Yeah.
Scotty, anything for you that stood out? Like what really just stood out from watching the race? And did you get to watch live or did you watch later?
I watched the broadcast.
Yeah, the replay basically.
Yeah, the replay.
Okay.
Yeah. Which they showed all 3 motos.
Yeah,
full. Yeah. So after the first moto, I was really optimistic. I thought AP rode really good.
For us.
Yeah,
Right.
for the US. I was really optimistic. And then as RJ kind of did exactly what I expected to. No, but I really thought that he was gonna he charged hard and he got a good result. And I was like, if he could just get a start in the second moto and have a good ride, and it never really turned out. But the one thing that I wish we could have seen more of was it seemed like the first moto, like the battle for the lead, was like your typical what we saw in the GPs. You saw Febvre and Prado.
Yeah.
We saw that a lot.
No surprise there.
And then in the second moto was kind of another kind of MXGP guys battling. And then the third moto was.
So you're giving us a recap instead of what surprised you.
I'm telling you what surprised me.
I know. I just
if you ask him a question, you're gonna get like a paragraph.
Oh, y'all go ahead. It's fine.
So for those listening, it was a rough 20 minutes before the show started of us just fucking with Scotty and him getting almost walked out. So we're just continuing
I really
this.
almost walked out.
Yeah.
No, I just the last battle was Jet and Roxon, which we've seen the last.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it would have been cool to see more of the series colliding. That was one of the things that stood out to me.
TJ?
The crowd.
Yeah.
Like I know we went to motocross days, not this last one here in the States, but the one before.
18 in Redbud. Yep.
Which had, I thought, a pretty big turnout, and they had like what's it called, K-Dub. They had Pastrana. So it had brought in people. It was not even close to the amount of people that was over there in France. Like I don't know, but is France as a country, or are they like way more moto? Like, is it way popular?
It's they were all in that one spot though.
Sports and motorsports in general, you go to if you ever go look at MotoGP and F1, Italy races are insane. The fans, the Italian fans, the French fans, I don't know, no offense to our country, but our fans aren't that motivated, man.
If you think about the cars and stuff that come out of those country, even from France with their the Citroens and stuff like that. I'm a car guy. They're definitely the culture is different over there for that. And then you talk about Italy when you talk about supercars and stuff like that.
I think, ML, there's a few of those countries that are, within the GP community that are just, even at the GPs, they just have massive crowds and they just,
awesome.
It's like a party and a circus the whole time. And it's pretty impressive. And, they keep saying 102,000 or something like that, but that was over.
Yeah.
So over the 3 days. So I think it was probably closer to 40,000 because
I would venture to say crowd size. Yeah, I'd be comfortable saying 40 plus.
Okay, yeah. So that if the same 40,000 came all 3 days, that'd be 120. So yeah.
But they just like I said, it was noticeably more people than what we saw at the one here.
Certainly in that one area. Yeah.
God, it was so many people.
And that's on like the Red Bull ones were definitely decently attended, but that's why you see, even as they've kind of announced the next couple destinations, they've pretty much figured the formula. They either need to do it in Italy, France, US, and maybe, they're mixing in Matterley here, there. They're talking about Spain. There's a couple countries they know they go to. They're going to get a guaranteed huge turnout. The fans are going to be super committed. The facilities can handle the size. That's also the other thing. I see suggestions for certain tracks, but they learned it when they went, I think, to Kingdoms back 14. A few of them, there's just venues that can't support the size the destination is getting to when it's in the right country.
Yeah. Speaking of Matterley Basin, is that next year?
Correct.
Yeah.
Matterley next year, US the year after. I thought they announced the next one, but I think then it goes to Saint Angeli, and then Spain is being rumored for the year after. So they actually have a 4-year plan.
So Matterley is a very historical track, right? And a very beautiful layout. But is that how fan conducive? Is that the right word? Conducive is that
Matterley's crazy because it's a huge area. It's France looking right because it's a lot of the people are condensed to one side of the track. Matterley on a normal GP does not look very full because it's got so much hillside to cover. It looks cool during a destination though, because they actually get enough people in there to fill out the facility. it works really well for destinations. It's one of the few properties, like it's almost better being a destinations facility than a GP. It doesn't look very impressive for a GP because the people are so spread out. Even if they get 20,000 people there, it actually doesn't look like that much.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was watching. I saw the people, and it's like if I ever get to go to one of those races, I'm definitely setting up an air horn stand because there was not one point during the broadcast where you didn't hear.
Or just selling air horns.
Yeah, I would go sell air horns there. Because, oh, go ahead, Mike.
Oh, I was gonna say one of the craziest things, the air horns and noise. Like, if anybody gets a chance, go watch our practice morning first laps video that Sean did from just on the ground right near those sections. And I mean, you barely can hear the bikes over the fans, and he's on the opposite, he's got the track between him and the fans, and it's practice. And every time Vial or Renault or Fever would go by, it was so loud, all you could hear through the speakers is the fans, and the bikes are closer to Sean than the fans are.
That's crazy.
Let's give a shout out to Sean Ogden also. He doesn't do these podcasts with us, but honestly, dude, he's kind of the heartbeat of what we do. All the graphics. Almost all the video, 90% of our graphics. Sean's behind the scenes and crushes it consistently, edits a lot of the videos and doesn't get a lot of credit. Sean Ogden's, he's great. He came over with Lewis, one of Lewis's longtime mates since they were childhood, and he's a good dude. I like Sean a lot.
And he actually talks to me, and so I'll definitely
that definitely shows how weird he is, that he will act, because most normal people aren't willing to talk to you very much once they get to know you.
So I got a question for you guys, surprise level wise.
Okay.
What did you guys think of the feedback and reaction that Team USA got for the performance this year? I didn't go too deep diving on social media, at least on the core stuff I follow. I was happy to see that I felt like most of the comments I saw were bummed how it went, but thank you guys for going. I know there was definitely some negative stuff out there. I didn't know if it was, as negative as TJ was, the bass plug from Swan for throwing a whip or something. But I wanted to get your guys' way in there.
Yeah, before we do that, for nearly 40 years, Racetech has been supplying the motorcycle industry with high-quality suspension components made right here in the USA. From modern to vintage, Racetech is your go-to source for suspension performance. You guys need some suspension work? Check out racetech.com. Find your local service center. There's an easy way to find a locator there. Hit them up. Get your stuff serviced. They'll take care of you. Be hanging out with Checkers from Racetech this weekend coming up at Millville. Appreciate those guys being a presenting sponsor. TJ, you want to answer that first?
Yeah, I haven't seen anything negative.
Right.
Which I didn't really think we would. I think because everybody was like, come on, somebody go. And these dudes were, no matter how they finished, they were so amped to go. They so wanted to go. They probably were hands up for, I wish I could go.
Yeah.
And so I think that means a lot.
Even before they got the opportunity to be asked, they wanted to go. Yeah.
So I think that's probably what means a lot. And then, Preston Base Fluke does throw some big whips, but I mean, when you're getting beat by some local guys, maybe you should just go faster and then throw big whips.
Maybe he's going faster
by throwing the whips. All straight airs. If we're getting third or fourth, straight airs only.
Airs, always.
Boner airs, like me.
No, that was some big stuff he was throwing, but I had to,
just had to be a dick.
Had to be a dick.
We had to put that kid in his place.
Back in his place.
He did start from dead last, but
TJ puts posts like that because he can't whip, so he's mad that anybody else can.
I got pit bike this weekend.
Hey, it's like our buddy Chase is always like, hey, look at this picture of my butt whip, and you look at it and you're like, that's not even a butt whip, dude. I don't know what that is.
He's in the live chat too, so it's even better.
I don't know what that is, man. That's like you turn sideways.
Yeah, exactly.
You turned your body sideways, like you're looking back.
That's it.
Thoughts on
is the bike sideways or is the camera sideways?
Yeah, that's the other thing. He just turns the camera at an angle. He's got that 360 camera.
Work smarter, not harder, bro.
Yeah.
No, Team USA response, anything?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I thought after the first moto, I was like, dude, we can podium this. So it was a little disappointing. I haven't seen much of a response.
Yeah, you don't get on social a ton.
No, I don't really. Yeah, I mean, I see some stuff, but I don't go too deep on the comments on that kind of stuff. But I would say that I'm just glad that Christian Craig didn't get smacked in the head by that guy's bike getting catapulted down the hill, because I saw a clip where he was going into the rut, and you just see that bike that the forks
one that broke,
yeah, like that almost got him. So it could have definitely gone way worse if that had happened.
The finish rider that didn't finish, that joke. I don't know who said that first, but that was a good one. I've heard it a few times since. But
well, to sum it up, one of our listeners in the live chat, Garrett Rockley, says, "Win, lose, or draw, I'll be pumped about us sending a team no matter what." So. I mean, that's kind of how everybody seems to be.
The only place I've seen anything negative is there's a couple Facebook groups that I somehow got in at some point, and there's always people that are just clearly have no idea what's really going on, and they were a little bit negative. But then there was other people in that group where they're like, dude, for what they went through and being willing to go, we're happy. So I saw a couple negatives.
I haven't looked on Vital. How are the Vitards taking it?
I was saying on the Vital end of things, it was pretty mellow.
Yeah.
Like, no, I think a couple guys, and the one who probably got the most negativity, I saw a little bit towards Craig, still not what I actually expected. But I think same thing. People that really knew how gnarly how close we were to not sending a team. They were just like, yeah, it sucks, but thanks for going. Like, way better than us not sending a team.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing that. There's always those a-holes out there that just want to be negative, but overall they went, like me, sure. Yeah. Scott, TJ's pointing at me. But they did the best they could. Christian hasn't been racing, and I think all that caught up. And then, of course, the track conditions seem to be a big thing. I mean, RJ was, in the Vital interview with Lewis, he was just could not believe the track conditions. It wasn't what he expected. And, you go over there and you're just not exactly prepared for what you're getting into. And he didn't know, right? But I like that he's like, hey, I will make another one of these teams. I will get picked. Yeah. Like, so he wants redemption. And I like that because I think, maybe in, 25. Yeah, 25 when was it Ironman or do we know that yet?
Ironman, yeah.
Yeah, at Ironman, maybe RJ, well, if he's still on a 250, maybe he'll make the team.
Yeah, and it's not nothing against RJ. It was really, I don't know, like whether it was the broadcast, and I'm not trying to throw shit, but like JT kept saying, they're just fish out of water, and kept hearing the guys, the track. Like, did anybody go back and ever watch what Ernay is literal hard pack hell? Like this, I get it. It's weird, but I don't get why so many people were surprised or, man, we just don't have it. We kind of knew what we were getting into. Again, maybe it's the same as me faking myself out on everybody had a chance. Maybe people convinced themselves it wasn't going to be that different.
Right.
But it's Ernay.
But RJ could have, like, the way he rides, he could have at any moment thrown down and just won a moto overall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
the qualifier. I was like, yes, whole shot. Oh,
yeah, I know.
Exactly. It's kind of like the Peter Griffin.
Oh, yeah.
Very much like poor Team Canada in the B final.
Everybody was
the B mains. Poor Jess Pettis.
Poor Pettis. I don't know what the heck happened to Wright this weekend. Dylan died. It seemed like every time he touched something.
Yeah, well, keep an eye on Vital MX. There'll be a little editorial from me on that tomorrow coming out. So I reached out to Courtney and Courtney Lloyd and a couple of the guys. So I wrote a little something about that. Before we let you go,
is the title of the article ping pong balls?
No, it is not. It is not.
Did they get a bad draw?
Dead last.
Oh,
yeah. Dead last.
That's funny that it happened to Canada just because he rails about it all the time, and
he didn't find it funny.
I don't.
Honestly, it's kind of a stupid.
I don't understand what's stupid.
Point, like somehow Morocco got it 2 years in a row for the win. They'll never make it into the A final. What the hell?
It doesn't bother me at all. Like the ping pong balls or the random draw. I think it's probably it's 100% fair because it's 100% random.
I feel like I can argue both. It's 100% fair and 100% unfair.
Yeah, but which what makes it fair. It's gonna like any team can get screwed.
It's so unfair.
And any team could win the lottery per se.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's two sides to it. But before we let ML go, I want to talk about shootouts. I know you're gonna. When does that actually come out on Vital?
Either there's a chance of the results will come out tomorrow. I would say more than likely Friday morning.
Okay, what can you tell us, I know you don't want to say like who you picked or who was the winner, or if there even is a winner in the way you're doing it.
Suzuki.
There is a winner.
Okay, but like, what do you want?
I can tell you Suzuki got dead last across the board.
Oh boy. Well, Ken Roxon would disagree. But
well, we're talking about 250s, and I rode Kenny's 450, and that was the most different 450 from a production bike I've ever ridden. Hey, that test is also up on Vital MX's YouTube. No, it's pretty close for 1 and 2. Pretty, I think, interesting like disparity amongst the top 2 bikes, and then kind of a split opinion in the middle, which is about what I expected. And then Suzuki bringing up the rear, but not too like. It'll make I think it'll make sense to people. Like there's nothing that's to me a shocker about it, but also the final result is really close between the top 2 bikes.
So who helped us? Was Jacob Hayes one of those guys? Who did you have help?
Jacob Hayes did it. Jacob's done 2 or 3 of them for me now. I have a buddy, Derek Caskey's kind of like my local tall, big vet guy. He's done probably 10 shootouts with me. Joe Carlino, who originally used to film them with me, has done a couple for me. My buddy Luke Santos, who's an ex-pro that runs a vacation rental. He actually just recently started helping us project bikes. And Chris Siebenhart actually works for Dunlop and used to be a road racer and worked for Alpine Star. He's done quite a few with us. I try to only do 1 new test rider a year because I like to be able to go back and look at our results and be like, because if you do take a completely new set of test riders, you might actually end up with a different result. Because at the end of the day, a shootout's just a group of opinions. And that's what I say at the beginning of them. The winning bike is not magically the best bike for everybody. Honestly, any bike in the shootout might be the best bike for you. The reason we do them and we put in the effort is for users to go through, listen to everybody's feedback. That's why we do expanded videos and articles on it. Like, read what everybody has to say. If you're going to go out and spend $9-10 grand on a new bike, listen to our shootouts, read all the articles, listen to everybody's shootout, like figure out which bike suits you best. Because honestly, like we do them because we want people to find what they want to ride and have a good time.
So you got the 450 one coming up. You're gonna have the Stark Varg in it?
No.
Just curious.
TJ was asking, his son Doc obviously is a rider or a pro, has his pro license. He was curious, like how, if people wanted to get involved and become a test rider, how does that work for Vital? How do you choose to how do you decide who gets the help?
I never put anybody in a shootout as their first go because I wouldn't give I kind of got to depend on them,
right?
In a sense to know they're reliable. As dumb as it sounds, it's literally being able to survive the day. Because I've brought 1 or 2 kids, I've done individual tests, and I tell them how a shootout day should work. Like, you're not just going to go burn motos on bikes. Like, you need to try everything available that OEMs have for you that's available, like mapping options, try some different bike balance. Some of them literally will just go, oh, this is cool, I get to do photos and video, and they just D2D and ride and burn themselves out in 3 bikes and can't even make the day. Like, I'm not in that great shape. I rode on the bike hours of moving. I rode 3 hours on Thursday.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot.
I'm freaking miserable by the end of it. I'm always the last person riding at our shootouts. Like, I'm the kind of guy who goes to the booth of the track and like, hey, can I pay you? Can we get an extra hour or 2 after you shut down? I'll ride the track roached. I don't care. I got shit I want to go through. So yeah, usually guys are reliable. Guys actually want to get involved. I always tell them, hey, show me you have an opinion. Start with a product review. Write something.
Yeah.
Find something you have that you have an opinion on. Write it. Send it in. That's the easiest way to get started. Prove that you have an opinion and you don't just like to ride around in circles.
I like it. What else is coming up on Vital in the next couple weeks? Anything big? What's Lewis working on?
Well, Lewis just he's still kind of putting out some. Dude, we have so much destinations coverage. It's insane. He's still putting out some content from that. We'll shootout. We'll have a story up on the whole Enzo Lopes situation here in the next day or two. Which that one's about as obvious it gets. He's going to Star. There's a contractual situation there that will get cleared up here pretty soon. We have some more bike intros coming up. I'm trying to think. You have your GNCCs next weekend?
Yep, Ironman GNCC next weekend. Yeah,
I'm sending Dylan there to literally video your entire experience, whether it's good or bad. I mean, you didn't finish Ironman last year, but you finished Florida earlier this year.
Yeah, that was last year. This is a whole new Jamie.
Is it really?
It is. Whole new Jamie.
All new Jamie since club?
Is it? Well, we have so Scotty and I have a running bet right now to see. So he's going to go do the ride day in Millville.
We got to make it through Millville first,
Look, man, we got 30 seconds, so we got to get Cooper Webb on.
Exactly. So the ride day at Millville.
I'll just stay on.
Our thinking is, is he able to ride on Sunday? He wants to ride Saturday and Sunday. We know for sure he's going to get on the bike Saturday, but does he make it clean enough to be able to ride Sunday?
I want in on this betting action.
Well, we all of us
we're all on the same side.
We're all on the same side. We're like, I don't think.
Well, the problem is we all have the same answer. We got to start coming up with like a timetable of when it goes bad.
Well,
we got to have a.
Am I in? Because if I ride, then I'll win all the pot.
Yeah, I'm just saying because because he's already like, well, I've got to hit Chatapult. I got to hit this jump.
Yeah.
No, you. Oh God, this is where it goes wrong. I gotta hit this.
No. ML, that's in his head. He didn't do it last time. He
didn't jump it last time.
He has to do it. It's already a thing.
We'll see how the day goes.
I'm not responsible. Well, at least he's got somebody to drive him back.
We'll be fine.
How many ambulances are they going to have?
Stop. We're going to do some troll training while I'm there, Alex said. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
But yeah, I gotta let you go so I can get Cooper on this line.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See you guys.
All right. Thanks, ML.
Later, ML.
Peace.
That's Michael Lindsay. Yeah, we're going to work on getting him on. What about, let's talk, what?
Just go.
No,
it's fine.
It's just the group. I mean,
we'll come back to that stuff here in a minute. Grant Harlan. You guys watch it. Talk about that situation while I get Cooper on. What'd you Poor Grant's in a hospital still waiting on an Airbus.
So I was watching it, and there was like...
Once I get Cooper on, we'll try to wrap it quick so we can get him. Just let you know.
All right. Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we know how the show works.
Yeah, we know how this works, just so you know.
Oh, have you done this before?
So, like, what was it? Like 3 guys wrecking, and then can you imagine just coming over the face of a jump, and there just be nothing but a bunch of bodies in front of you like that?
I can't imagine coming while I'm in the air of a jump.
Jesus, Scotty.
We just got demonetized.
Yeah, poor Grant Harlan had nowhere to go, and that bike
there was nowhere.
Stopped.
The whole.
I never actually saw it. I didn't.
Okay, so he comes over.
It was nasty.
It's kind of like a tabletop, but it's blind to the landing, and so. You got to think he comes over the jump, and there's about 4 riders and bikes right there, and he hits, and when he hits, his bike just stops. Like
on Dylan Wright's bike,
his bike literally it was like somebody just pulled a rope out from underneath it, and he just goes rip, rip, rip down.
Yeah. There's dreams like that. I have dreams.
We'll come back to that. We got our first guest of the night on, who's going to be brought to you tonight by WUSA. W is your source for all things wheels. If you're looking for a complete set of wheels for your bike, we have everything for every budget. If you want to use the same wheels used by Eli Tomac, Cooper Webb, Malcolm Stewart, Christian Craig, Chad Reed, and Jeremy McGrath, just to name a few, visit WUSA. Use promo code MotoXpod Show to save. Tonight, WUSA brings us Star Yamaha's newest and one of their oldest riders, Cooper Webb. What's up, Coop?
What's up, man? How's it going?
It's going good. How are we feeling?
Yeah, all good, man. Just been enjoying some time off and started back on the grind this week. But yeah, just kind of enjoying a little bit of time off, man.
Yeah, a little bit. Not much time off with Super Motocross and the new format.
No, that's for sure.
But you got some downtime. You got a little bit of downtime during the summer, I guess, sort of.
Yeah, it was a strange downtime, that's for sure. But yeah, I definitely did, and was kind of healing up, and then was in between a bunch of stuff. But yeah, definitely had a little bit of time off racing, that's for sure. Yeah,
as I mentioned, everybody knows this. You're back at Star Yamaha. You rode the Super Motocross races for the team. You were at Star, I think, 2013 through 16 with 2 championships in 16, so very successful there. How different is the team, or does it feel now? It's much bigger program.
Yeah, it is. It feels very similar, but it's definitely excelled. And like you said, it's grown a lot since I've been there. I mean, my first year on it, it was 3 250 guys. And that was it. So it is really cool to see, though. Like you said, I had a great start to my career with these guys, and all those guys that were there are still here. So that's, like I said, where it feels very familiar, but they've added to the personnel and the program in general. Even with the facility they have is absolutely insane. And, their shop and just the amount of effort and guys they have, it's a full on, operation like all the other factory efforts, so it's as similar as it was to back then. It's definitely a lot more involved, that's for sure.
Yeah, you said 3 250 riders. Now there's like 27.
All but 3.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby Reagan will not rest until every rider is signed to Star, and then there's like no other OEMs allowed to race.
Yeah, and that's Bobby, man. He's gonna do whatever it takes.
It's pretty funny.
So you were talking when you first started talking about the weird time off during this summer time off. Did it ever? I know you have plenty of years of racing left, but did it ever like open your eyes to what maybe you would plan to do when you're done racing? Because I know there's guys like Sipes who are hitting everything that they could race or whatever. Then Brownie is constantly riding and racing, and then some guys just disappear, like K-Dub, who just never never rode. Like, did that open any eyes to you towards when you years down the road, when you do decide to quit racing?
I don't think this time did. I mean, I've always thought about it, and I think you're always thinking about it like, hey, you're planning for the future, and I don't think any of us really ever know when that time's going to be. But I think for myself, I definitely want to be involved with racing at some capacity, and whether it is riding or whatever that kind of time comes, whatever the availability is. I definitely don't want to crawl off the face of the earth and
that's cool.
Sit on the couch. But at the same time, when that time comes, I'm sure I'll think more about it. But for the time being, it's full gas racing.
Yeah, Cooper, with with you being on the same team as Tomac, and he's he making an announcement that he's coming back, and it's been a while since we've seen 2 guys of y'all's caliber being on the same team. How is it shaping up? How it's going to look like next year? Is it going to be kind of we're working together to beat Jet and those other younger guys coming up, or is it kind of going to be more like I'm doing my thing, he's doing his thing, and the only thing that's really the same is that we're both on blue plastics?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I mean, to be honest, it was definitely a unique situation, when they did this deal and brought me on, and like this last Supercross season, me and Eli and Chase were the 3 contenders, but it was really me and Eli there for a little bit, swapping red plates a little bit and stuff. And I think it's definitely a unique dynamic. Like you said, it's, in my mind, I look at it as, hey, we both have 2 Supercross championships, and we've always battled, say, the last five or so years, for those championships. And, I've been either second to him or vice versa type thing. So I don't know, the dynamic much. Like we really haven't ever chatted much. And LA was the first time that I've really talked to him since this all went down or anything like that. And it was actually, pretty cool. Like, he was super cool to me. And, I think we've always had a lot of respect for each other, but we've just never really had a chance to communicate and really even chat much at all. So I thought it was pretty cool. Like, he was giving me some insight, and we actually did track walk together and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. I think we're both at the age and at the point in our career where we know we both achieved a lot of great goals, and we do both want to be Supercross champion again. So I think once we go racing, maybe it'll tell us a little more, but I do think at the same time there's a lot of contenders now, right? It's not just going to be me and him. So I think it'll, on my end, like, I think it kind of goes back to most of my championship years. Like, when I was on the team with Marvin, me and him, even though we were battling for a championship and weren't the closest of friends, we had a lot of respect for each other, and we're always bettering each other, in my opinion, whether it was at practice or making the bike better. And I always felt super comfortable knowing, hey, the guy I'm racing against is on the same equipment, and we have the same personnel, and we have the same capabilities. I think for me, that's something now where, I know if Eli beats me on a certain night, like, it's because he was the better rider and stuff like that, instead of maybe other variables. So sure. I think for me, I'm pretty stoked on that, and just having the same opportunities. And I'm sure, there's going to be some learning that I can learn from him, and maybe vice versa to get after these younger guys for sure. But
Yeah.
I think it'll be a cool thing. We don't see it a lot, and like I said, I think we're both at the point in our career where we have a lot of respect for each other, and it's not going to be who's who. I think we're both past that stage. We could care less who's the A and who's the B. We're just both going out there to win.
I think the true winners is going to be the fans like us, whether y'all are best friends or fist fighting behind the RV. Either one, we win. Both of us, we all win.
That's true.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think it'll be a good, like you said, something different, something that a lot of times doesn't ever happen, and especially at least from what I can remember, it's been a long time since two guys with two number one plates have been on the same team.
Sure.
Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to ask that, because I don't 4 to 5 years ago, I don't think that this would have worked out, but now that there's kind of that you guys, like you said, it was cool that hear you say that y'all are more mature and it's getting later in your careers, and it's kind of cool that you guys can feed off each other, because from the fans' perspective, it's going to be, all right, y'all got to go out and beat Jet kind of thing. So that's kind of going to be the perception. So seeing you guys kind of team up will be cool from our end.
I'm hoping for the fist fights. I'm just
Gotta bring Weston Pike back for that. I don't think Coop's not a fighter. I don't think.
No, I mean, obviously there's time and a place, but I don't think that'll be the case. If anything, I'll be, someone else or something else is crazy going on.
What I want to bring up though with that is you talked about the maturity, and do you see it's not easy to be, as TJ said, best friends with some of your closest competitors at the level you're at. But when you see Chad Reed and James Stewart and Ricky Carmichael now all being buddy, you kind of go, oh, okay, this is just for right now. Like down the road, we do have that respect. We can be friends. So being at a later point in your career, you kind of can say, hey, look, we can learn from each other, man. We don't have to go out and hate each other to beat each other. Yeah.
No, for sure. And I think every situation is different, right? Mm-hmm. And I think, like you're saying, as far as the respect, I think I, at least for myself, I have respect for every rider on the gate. I know at the end of the day what we all go through, and when we strap that helmet on, the consequences and the risk we're all taking. So I think for me, it's never been a respect thing, but I do think, like you said, it's hard to like someone you're battling with a championship, and that's just the nature of the beast. I think it's something, as this sport is super individualized, and your years are limited to a sense. So it's you got to put your foot down. And for me, if it is pissing the guy off, or run-ins or whatever the case is, then I'm gonna do that. And I think, like you said, it is cool to see the respect of all the guys now when you do retire and kick back and talk about stories. And I think that is the case with probably all of us, is we are all probably more similar than what we all think, and
of course,
and we've been all thinking the same and same mentality and same things for 10 years. And we just don't share it with each other. So, I think, like you said, post career, I don't think there will be anything like that, but I do think for the time being, it's extremely hard to not have at least that competitive nature. And I'm not saying hateful or anything spiteful, but you almost, when you're battling someone tooth and nail, I find it extremely hard to want to invite that person over for a coffee or something like that.
Sure, that makes sense. I want to bring this moment. We've heard the story of you talking some trash on the starting line. I even asked you about this at LA briefly.
Oh, I love this.
And as I recall, Eli was one of the guys that was right next to you, and you were like, hey man, are you ready? Have you guys ever talked about that at all? Or say, has there ever been a conversation dude, what's him going what's wrong with you, man?
No. And that's the thing. Up until, like I said, probably the LA race, it's never been more than, hey, how are you type thing.
Yeah.
Just because I think we've been on such separate programs and ends of the, he's West Coast, I've always been East Coast, and our age difference and just everything, I've really never talked to him much. So Yeah, no, definitely haven't. I'm sure one of these days maybe it'll get brought up, and who knows, maybe he doesn't remember. But
Probably not.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely something. Like I said, we've had some spots, some races and stuff where, we've maybe collided, or I've, like I said, talked some junk or whatever the case is. But I'm sure we'll have time to reminisce.
Absolutely.
So this last weekend, Motocross of Nations, I'm sure you had to have watched it. Just trying to get somebody of your caliber who we know that you're willing to race for America and stuff like that, and maybe in the future, next year, maybe an all Yamaha team with Bobby having all the fast 250 riders, it seems like. And
can you imagine Coop, Eli, and Deegan?
Oh, my God. Anyways, but my question was, what was your thoughts on it, and what was your takeaway from the weekend?
Yeah, it was, it's definitely a tough day for the Team USA for sure. But, I think it was, well, for me watching, it's always a cool event, and being at that track when I raced there in 2015 and kind of knowing how that crowd is, and just knowing that the atmosphere was, it was cool to see as a fan, but just like made me have some really good memories of the day I raced it, and we got second when I was there, but we had such a solid day looking back. I think we lost to France by 2 points that day, and I think they were on 7 at the end and we were on 9, and it's
right.
You just look back and go, man, these guys seem like France dominated the nations, and I think they ended up with 12 points, so it's you look back at that and just think about all the good times and stuff. So yeah, I think for me it was, it seemed like the track was definitely a lot harder packed than I think everyone anticipated, but that track for me, it seems like a cooler track, more tight. It definitely didn't look like it was the best conditions necessarily. I feel like when I raced it, it was a lot more ruddier, and some of the changes they made, it looked like maybe kind of narrowed it up a little bit. But overall, I do think that track is a cool track, being on the hillside, and it's a lot tighter. It's not a track that you're hanging it out and just balls to the walls. It's definitely more, I'd say, technical, and you have to have some good technique and throttle control and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, it was, I think for me, you're rooting for Team USA, but then you're also rooting for the American Euro riders, right? When Kenny was up there and Jed and even Vial, you're kind of all right, if it isn't going to be the US, at least our American guys that are racing this championship are up there and showing, that we're still really, really good outdoor riders and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, it's always a cool event for me to watch, and, just seeing the different battles, the battles you're seeing are once a year, when you got 250 guys, 450 guys, just from all over the countries and the world, so it was cool though to watch. And, yeah, I mean, like you said, it was definitely a tough day for our boys, but I'm sure we'll live to fight another day next year.
Cooper Webb tonight, brought to you by WUSA.
Yeah, Coop. Speaking of the donations, with the way things ended with KTM and DeCoster being the team manager, did you have any? Did you want to go? And do you think if things had ended differently, that you would have been? It'd have been more of an opportunity, or did that have any effect on it whatsoever?
I mean, I definitely wanted to go. I think that was no question. Yeah, I think it definitely, maybe could have went a little my way, but yeah, I mean, who knows what all transpired? It was a weird time for me and what was kind of happening. And, I do know at High Point, I had been brought up in conversation, and then, it kind of went radio silence after that. So, but yeah, I mean, I think it was definitely a weird year. It's definitely no question that we didn't send our A team, and I think that it was definitely a scramble. It seemed like just to get riders, which really is unfortunate, because it is to me still one of the best and biggest and most pristine events of the year. And that was definitely a bummer to see. You know, like we didn't get our A team, B team, C team. You know, like there was a laundry list of guys that it sounded like either, you know, weren't able to, or manufacturers or whatever the case was, just didn't happen. So definitely weird times, and you know, weird situation for sure.
Yeah. Just a few more questions before we let you go. I want to talk about the switch to Star in the middle of the season. You had some time to prepare before Super Motocross. And I remember the interview that Mathis did with you, and you said, hey, you know, I feel like I should be more prepared than any of these guys because they've been racing Supercross, et cetera, et cetera. And then round one did not go how you expected. Didn't go how I think how any of us expected. Was there any moment of like, oh, shit? Or did you kind of know right away, all right, we just got to fix a couple things and we'll be fine?
No, I mean, it was a very strange situation, you know, because I think in my head, these playoff races were going to be very Supercrossy. And, you know, LA was definitely more Supercrossy, but the other two weren't, you know, like bottom line is they weren't. So I think for me, like you said, I in my mind, I was preparing, you know, I did have a good, I'd say, I think it ended up being like 5 weeks on the bike and stuff. And I was happy because I wasn't changing stuff at the practice track. You know, I was really comfortable right away. But when I look back, you know, it would have been easier said and done and been like, hey, I should have been riding a lot more motocross. You know, I basically rode some outdoors and then went straight to Supercross all leading up to it. And as I said, I feel like the tracks ended up being, especially Chicago, and then the first one too, besides the rhythm section, you know, was definitely more motocrossy. So, but yeah, I think it just shows like when you're not racing, you are missing out, whether it's the speed or fitness or whatever it is. And then I do think I kind of maybe underestimated how, even though, you know, at the practice track, everything is 100% and A-OK, you know, in race situations and putting a new bike under, you know, race day stuff, things might show up that you've never experienced. And I think that's kind of what happened. You know, it wasn't so much anything with the bike. It was more just the conditions, right?
Sure.
I think for me, it caught me pretty off guard. Like I had a great setup for Supercross and, you know, round one, I actually felt okay. You know, like it wasn't like we were way off by any means, like you said, but I do think it was like, oh crap, you know, okay, we need to understand these style of races, the conditions, things like that. And I think, yeah, like I said, it was tough too, because even with the preparation, you know, you got, like, for me, I was fully Supercross and all the other guys were still finishing the outdoor series. And at the time, you know, Hayden and Justin were still in contention for the motocross championship and stuff. So our schedules were a little bit different and stuff like that. And I wasn't able to really ride anywhere else. So like I said, I think it was stuff where you feel like you're really in a good spot. And then, you know, you go race and you just kind of understand, hey, okay, this is a little different than what we're used to. And these are some of the things we need to address. And even with myself, just kind of learning the team, like I said, it's a lot of the same guys, but you know, suspension wise, what's the go-to here? You know, like, you know, I think very highly of Gilly, and I have been pumped with how we've done things. But like I said, when you get to the race and you're maybe unsure of a direction, and you know, it's kind of like I'm then putting maybe my opinion out there and listen to others and this and that, and we just haven't been able to work together yet, you know, at a race. So it was kind of just like learning each other and learning, okay, you know, when these guys see something, then that's the right call, or maybe I was wrong about something, and just little stuff like that, you know, like I said, when you're at the practice track and it's just kind of you and your mechanic busting your laps, it's just stuff that you don't know or even consider. So, yeah, I was happy with the last race. You know, I think we ended on a much higher note, and you know, that was a good way to end it. You know, especially Chicago for me was probably the roughest by far, and it was definitely a unique thing. And like I said, I think everyone was kind of in the same boat, though, not really understanding or knowing how the tracks were going to be and stuff like that. So that's where I do think maybe it was a bit of for me, I should have maybe done a little bit more outdoor prep and get ready for those higher speeds, outdoor style tracks.
Yeah, that makes tons of sense. That being said, what do you think about the super motocross format for going forward? Do you think it's something that you'll enjoy once you have more time to prepare for it? It's definitely something different.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like it
doesn't sound positive.
No, it kind of sucks. Like, I'm not gonna lie. The tracks, in my opinion, were shit. Like,
tell us how you really
not
feel.
Much passing.
Yeah.
And I get it. We're all in the same situation, and I'm not like bad mouthing it. It's just like they didn't really give us a direction, and that's what was more maybe the issue, or like, hey, we kind of, like, in my mind, everyone said, oh, it's Monster Cup, it's Monster Cup, it's Monster Cup. Well, Monster Cup's always been Supercrossy, besides the whoops. So anyway, I don't want to, like I said, get too involved, but I do feel like the first two were extremely start dependent.
Yep.
But it was good for the fans, and I think that's what maybe sells tickets. But as a rider, it's definitely frustrating when you're, in that line of fire where you don't even have opportunities anywhere to really make those passes, and it can cost you type thing. So, I think they'll learn from it. I think everyone will learn from it and get better. But I do think even on the teams, like, it was really hard on us riders and the teams to know, even setup wise, what to do. I think maybe that was part of it, like strategy wise, but I do think as far as just like overall, all of us went from kind of like Supercross and messed around at Charlotte to then it sounds like everyone went pretty much back full motocross for Chicago, and then it was fully back to Supercross for LA. So maybe they can just give us kind of a bit more direction in the future of like, hey, what it's going to be like. And if that's what it's going to be like, then, hey, we all know, right?
Sure.
And can prepare. And, with all the money on the line and everything like that, it's just like, it's a good opportunity for everyone to win, the SMX championship and all that. So, yeah, I mean, I think we'll all learn from it, and I'm sure they will too. And the riders and the teams, and we'll know, all right, we need to have probably Supercross, motocross, hybrid, like, just be ready.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. That was part of what I liked about it, because I didn't have to write it. Was like, I liked the fact that you guys didn't really know what the hell to do, because it was sort of like, oh, like, look, you guys aren't as good as you think you are you?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, it was just entertaining.
I think for me, it was just like, as a racer, there was not much passing.
Sure.
And that's the only thing, like, but for a fan, I think that was probably awesome. And like you said, I think what made it so interesting and exciting was it wasn't the same old story, right? And I think that's what fans liked. I'm sure that's what you guys liked. And as racers, I think it was kind of cool for us too, knowing like, hey, we're going to new places we've never been. We don't know what to expect. We don't know what the dirt's like, the track's like, anything. As cool as it was, in that degree, I think I guess for me as a racer, just being stubborn, it was like, well, damn it, I want to know what I'm running. There's $100,000 on the line tonight. Like, but like I said, I think it was good to now know, hey, it's going to be very hybridy. It's going to be challenging. It's going to put you on your toes, and it's going to be meant for maybe not the best racing, but for tight racing, close racing, and it's going to be hectic. It's not going to be like a Supercross race where there's bowl turns and a chance to pass in every turn, or like outdoors where it's going to get super rough and gnarly, and your fitness is going to be what helps carry you, So I think it's a different style of racing, that's for sure. And I think it'll definitely be more strategic probably moving forward.
Yeah. So we had a question real quick from one of our live guests in the chat, and wanted to know what said, ask if Sporting Wood, ask what Cooper about the outdoors. How badly does he want that premier championship in the outdoors?
Yeah, I mean, that's the a goal of mine for sure. I think it's something that, I got to be realistic with myself, and I haven't really done the outdoors like this last year. I planned to do it, but had the injury, and then the year before I didn't. So I think for me, I have a 2-year deal with Star, and it's no secret. Like, my goal would be to firstly just get back to being a podium guy outdoors, and then getting another win first, right? And then I think we can go to that next step of getting the championship, or putting myself in contention to win a championship outdoors, because it's, I did it on a 250, and I feel like, when I'm comfortable and on certain days and stuff, like I definitely am an outdoor guy, but I think it's no secret that that's something that I need to improve and get better on. And I'm definitely hoping to be able to do that. And, like I said, just be in the fight more often than not, for sure.
All right, Coop, we're about to let you go. I want to wrap this up with one question. I've been doing these like off moto topic questions.
How old are you?
No,
Okay.
Not how old he is.
That's me.
That's Scotty.
That's Scotty.
That's me.
I'm only 27, so.
There you go, Scotty. You don't have to ask again.
I wasn't worried about
that seems to be Scotty's favorite question. All right, if you had to lose 1 sense, what sense would you let go?
Smell.
Yeah, I think that's the correct answer.
It has to be, right?
Yeah, because I think the rest to me are way more important. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, easy enough, man.
I gotta taste. Taste is number one.
Oh, really? Over like feel and sight? Like I kind of like my sight, man.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it'd be nice to see, probably, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna race, you need to see first, probably feel the bars, and then taste the champagne at the end.
Think about how healthy you could eat if you didn't have to taste the food.
Oh.
Yeah, but I like tasting my food.
Anyways.
I would just get rid of my common
But I
sense.
don't like
hardly
smelling
use it
you two
anyways.
assholes in my studio, so like the smell can go. All right, Coop, we're gonna let you go, man. Thanks for coming on. It's been a little bit since we've had a chance to talk to you, and appreciate you doing it.
Yeah, no problems, guys. Y'all have a good night.
You too, bud. See ya.
Yeah, see ya.
All right, thanks to Cooper Webb for coming on. Brought to you tonight by WUSA.
Did you hear what he didn't hear what I said?
No, I didn't.
I said I would just get rid of my common sense. I hardly use it anyways.
Your common one.
Yeah.
That was good stuff. Okay. Yeah, did we finish talking about Grant Harlan? Or was there more to talk about? I got to get Dino on.
We talked about it.
So nothing else to talk about. All right, well, man, we need a quick topic to talk about in transition to
Talk about that
Dino.
track that I wrote.
That's going to be too long of a topic, I think.
Okay.
Let me work on getting Dino. You're still working on your bike. Still don't have what's the update? Tell our listeners your update on that while we get Dino on.
Supposedly the piston in the cylinder wall has been re-sleeved and is supposed to be being shipped to TJ's house. So once we get that, I'll be back in action.
And then he has to Scotty or TJ has to put the bike back together for you.
I put the motor back together.
Yeah,
I ain't touching the bike.
You're not touching the bike. You're just going to do the motor.
just
Oh,
the
you're going to do the motor out of the frame, and then
It's
he has to do
already
that?
out. I've already got the motor split apart. I just got to put the cases back together.
Okay.
And then we'll be, I had to order a tool to split the cases on KTM because
special tool.
every year they have a different special tool, and I just didn't have that one. So,
All right. I think we have our first guest on the line. It took a little bit.
Second
Second guest, excuse me.
What the hell we just do for 30 minutes?
He's going to be brought to you by Andy Gregg and the Guts Racing crew, who have been providing the best seat covers and foam in the industry for years. For 2023, they've added Kawasaki to their complete seat lineup, as well as the color teal to the gripper material options available. Also new for 23 are options for your e-bikes. They have complete seats for the Talaria, the Super 73, and covers for the Segway and Sur-Ron, and they have options for your Honda, KTM, and Husqvarna electric bikes. Visit Guts Racing today, right now. Go get you a seat cover. Get you some of that Phantom Light foam. Get it hooked up. Tonight, Guts Racing brings us Dean Wilson. What up, Dino?
Hello, how we doing?
We're doing good, man. How are you doing? We got a win.
Yeah, we got a win. So that was nice. It's been a while. So, yeah, happy. It's a long ways to go not to win. So happy with that.
Yeah, dude. I think, it wasn't an AMA Supercross race, but you're leveled, man, to go get a win at the Aussie Supercross. Yeah, it had to feel good to get that feeling back, and just I would assume sometimes you kind of lose your passion for racing when you do it so much, and things have really, you've had a struggle the last couple of years.
Yeah, no, it's just a tough class. Like 450 class is just no joke. Like all the these guys in the top 10 are just champions and savages, and I've battled my whole 450 career, just always just getting my ass kicked pretty much. We've had a few podiums and a good run, but anyways, yeah, so it's cool to go to the Oz Supercross, and obviously, like you said, it's not AMA level, but there's still some really good riders. You got obviously Justin Brayton, Aaron Tanti, Luke Clout, Josh Hill.
Yeah, was Robbie Wageman there too?
He was out 250 class.
Oh, he was in the 250 class. Okay.
Yeah, and then who else was there? Kel Webster. So there's still a pretty good group of guys, that are fast. So it's and on those tracks, it's not technical like AMA Supercross. So it's really hard to get that advantage, So they go good on those tracks. So yeah, it was good though. Felt good. I was leading I led laps, which was nice, and it was just nice to be that front runner guy. It's been a while, so I enjoyed it.
Yeah, you talked about how these other guys they're beasts and they're animals. Do you still see yourself in the same way you did, say, 5 years ago as an elite racer, or have you struggled mentally a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm, I don't know if I'm like that top 3, top 5 material anymore, which, that's fine. I've raced with a pretty torn up knee the last 6 years, and I've really just tried to manage my career and do the best I can with that. So yeah, I'm happy where I'm at right now, and I'm still in the game, and yeah, I mean, of course it's hard mentally, constantly getting your ass kicked, but I gave it my best every time, and it's kind of funny, there'll be guys from 7th to 12th that maybe just I mean, we're all committed, right? We all train hard, we eat well, we pour our soul into this sport, and there could be the guys from 7 to 12 that literally work the hardest but don't win, right? It's not always, obviously the people that win work hard, but they may not work the hardest. There's those guys from 7 to 12 that I've had battles where I gave it my all, and just from the start to the checkered, and battled my ass off, done everything I could, and I got a 9th, and I'm just what the hell,
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny to think of it how there's more, there's a lot of action going on, not just in the top 5. But no, the class is great. It's just more competitive than ever now. You got Jet in there, Chase, Kenny's really looking good right now. Obviously Cooper, dude, the names you can go on forever. And it's just, the level is so elite and so high right now. It's unbelievable. So, then you throw in Hunter that's next year, then you got Justin Cooper, and it's just, it never ends.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, even a guy like Adam Cianciarulo, who's having physical issues, you talked about your knee is just shot. He's having, but he's still one of the elite riders in the entire world. So much talent. And he's going through that same mental transition, I think, of okay, maybe I'm not a 1, 2, 3 guy anymore either. And he has to figure that out. Yeah, that's got to be, dude, I just can't even imagine, because that's, you've been one of the best riders your entire life, and kind of having to accept that, hey, I'm on the backside of my career. That a lot of guys struggle with that, but it seems like you've been in good spirits. I mean, every time I've ever talked to you.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I know where I'm at. I know I'm not out there to win races. I want to be in the top 10, which is realistic. And I want to win in Australia, and I want to be on the podium in WSX. So it's all very realistic. And yeah, still racing and getting to do what I love, and can't complain, So
that's good.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that we were talking about this, because when I was thinking about this, I've been watching I go back and watch old races, when I'm going to sleep and stuff, and I was watching 2010, 11, that kind of range of outdoors, and it's funny because all these guys that you were just talking about, that you're tough with, there was a list like that you were consistently beating. So I've seen you been one of those guys, and sometimes I don't feel that you get the credit that of the caliber of rider that you have been for so long. But what I wanted to ask a question out of that was, what part of your career has been your favorite, whether it's from amateurs or part of your pro career? What has been your favorite era of Dean Wilson?
I mean, obviously the beginning started out so awesome. As a rookie, I won some races and was rookie of the year. Then the next year I won the championship. So it started off like so good. And then just after the first 2 years is just when the injuries started happening. Pretty much after the first 2 years, I did 3 years of shoulder reconstructions on each shoulders. So that was that. And then I was still always battling for a title in the 250s and Supercross. And then 2015 is when I got factory KTM ride, blew my knee out both years, lost that opportunity. So I think a year that sticks out to me that's just very gratifying was 2017, after I lost the KTM ride and I started as a privateer. Then I earned my way back to a factory ride. Then I earned my way back to a 450 podium, which I'd never done. That was just it was like a feeling that I can't even describe. Like, I remember there was a race, and I think it was Houston. So I got into the factory Husky team from being a privateer, and there was a race, and it was like, it was Dallas 2017. And it was like my second race on the team, I think. And I held off Dungey for like 2 laps to go, and I got 4th. And it was just, I was 4th or 5th. And it was like, I remember just going back to the pits, and I was just crying. Like, I couldn't even control it. It was just like tears were just running down my face, because like all the hard work I put in to climb my way back out of where I was, and I'm back on a factory team, and I'm back in mixing it up. And then that year I got a few top 5s in Supercross and 2 podiums outdoors. And then, it was just such a good year and gratifying, and because I really had to earn it. And it was just such a good feeling. So 2017 really sticks out to me.
Yeah, I remember that, because y'all were like the first couple of rounds, y'all were selling T-shirts and stuff. Like,
he was out of a van with Paul Parabinos. Yeah,
that's cool.
Paul P came out of retirement.
Yeah,
wrenching.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, I went privateer twice. So yeah, it was like, I was actually on the Swap Moto live show today, and I was kind of speaking about this, but like, both times I lost my factory ride was because of injuries. Like I factory KTM, tore my knee. What was it? 3rd Supercross race, out for the year. Came back last year outdoors. And the next year, pretty much exact same thing. And then on Husky, I tore my knee again, lost my ride, earned it back. So it's just like, it was tough, because all my contracts were always 1-year contracts, because no one would want to sign me for 2 years because of injuries and stuff, which is understandable. So every year has been just like, I've had to earn it every year, and that's what's been, it's been tough, but it's been rewarding, because I've really had to work hard for it. And there's been a lot of ups and downs, but that's just part of the game, and I never gave up, and I'm still here. So I'm proud of that,
So you talk about the injuries and stuff like that, and as you're seeing the younger riders, and there's too many to name, that come in, have injuries, and then give up on the sport and stuff like that. What have you ever talked to any riders, young guys who come in injured, or if you did, what advice would you give them to be able to keep pushing through? Because, I mean, obviously you've shown that you can come back from injuries, like we've been talking about.
Yeah. No, I think well, the first thing I would say is just look after your body, just like, I mean, you can't prevent, injuries. Like, it's just, they happen, right? It's part of the sport, and it is what it is. You don't go out there to purposely blow out your knee or something like that. But, oh man, I'm telling you, if I never had my knee injuries, I really think my career would be a lot different. But that's just the path that I got, and it is what it is. So, yeah, I just think definitely, look after your body, and that's how you get longevity. And that's how I feel like I'm still going. Like, even though I am a little bit beat up, I really work hard on my recovery and to look after my body so I can keep going, and doing the schedule I'm doing this year, my body feels so much better than last year, because the outdoors was just too much wear and tear on my knee, and I couldn't do it anymore. So now I have more rest, and Supercross just isn't as taxing on the body. So, yeah, I'm happy with that decision I made to do what I did, you know?
We've heard a lot of talk about like prevention of injuries and how riders' builds do that. We have like riders like Chase, or even go back to Carmichael, who were a lot of muscle to be able to try to do you. But you are a taller rider and like a lot more lanky, I guess you'd say.
He's pretty thick. I think he's thick.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, he's a stout boy.
But yeah, but I mean, but being taller, I mean, do you think that having like a lot of muscle, like what Chase tries to put on with his build and stuff like that, does that help with injury prevention?
I mean, yeah, I think so. You know, I think Chase, like, but like the thing is like, it's not like Chase doesn't try to put muscle on, and neither do I. That's just our build. And that's what's hard. Like, same as Chase, we always talk about it, because when we're cycling and stuff, like we can gain weight so easy. Like I'm always trying to lose weight, like nonstop. But if I just make it, I went for a week and I'm just going to enjoy myself, not train. Oh man, the weight would just come quick. So like, that's just our build. And then as far as like being lanky and stuff like me, I think like that's why I have the knee injuries and shoulder injuries, because think of like a long branch, right? They're just kind of easier to snap. So I feel like that's kind of a reason why tall guys always do their knees, because there's just, it's longer and more vulnerable, I guess you could say. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, at a certain point, it kind of just comes down to like luck of the draw. Like, well, sometimes it just happens, and like, because I think you're going to go down infamously as the guy who had probably the injury that no dirt bike rider would ever want when you took that foot peg, man. Like nobody like that's like, sometimes stuff like that just happens when and unfortunately it's just the way it goes. But like, dude, like that, you're gonna go down as a guy that has injury that nobody will ever take over another one.
Yeah, no, it's been a rough road, but you know, it is what it is. And man, yeah, you gotta now, like, I wish I kind of had the smarts that I do now, like on just decision making. Like, I think that's how Justin Brayton has such a long career, is because he's just like, his body's good and he's healthy and he's very methodical and doesn't make any dumb decisions, you know, like for instance, at LA SMX, they were quadding onto that tabletop, like the top four were. And I was like, I could have done that. Like I had the skill to do that. I was just like, is it worth it? Yeah. Like, not really, honestly. So, you know, at my stage in my career, it's got to be smart and make good decisions, you know?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, you sort of touched on it, but is there anything you wish you had done different if you had been, like you said, as smart as you are now when you were younger? Is there anything in particular that stands out, like, oh, I should have done this a little differently?
Yeah, there's definitely a few things. Yeah. I mean, like, I remember in 2013, I was leading the East Coast Supercross Championship, and in the heat race, like, I was fastest in every qualifier. Then this is like round 3 or 4. I think it was round 4. And I was trying to pass Justin Hill, and like, I just got impatient, and I would try to, like, I just landed on a tough block. And I feel like that could have been prevented if I was just a little bit more patient. And I ended up collapsing my lung and broke some ribs, and that was the championship done, you know? And like, I was always kind of frustrated because I got the outdoor championship, but I always wanted a Supercross championship. And I finished second like 2-3 times, you know? And I remember in 2014, I told Mitch, like, hey, that, like, I want to get this championship for you. And I tried my best, and I came up short again. And then I remember at Vegas Supercross, I was on the cuff of pointing out, and I had to make a decision. I had a Red Bull KTM contract from Roger to sign that day, or did I want to just keep chasing this 250 dream, because like I was going to point out that night. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to give up the 250 Supercross dream, and I had the opportunity with Red Bull KTM. So I won that night in Vegas, which was cool. My last Supercross 250 race, and signed the 450 deal. and teammates with Dungey. So that was pretty cool. But like that was just like a decision where I was like, okay, I'm going to put this 250 Supercross Championship behind me and just move on, you know?
Yeah, that's a tough decision at that age and that time to decide. You just don't know what the outcome either way is going to be. It's one of those crossroads. You got to make a choice.
That's not the answer. I was expecting the answer to that question to be something like, well, this one night in Vegas, there was this prostitute.
Yeah, exactly.
Easy. Jeez, TJ. He's not you, bro. You mentioned SMX LA a minute ago, and you had a pretty good crash there, man. That track was... Well, the whole SMX thing in general, we were just talking to Coop about this, and one of the things I liked about it was the fact that you guys really didn't know what to expect. Most of the riders and teams were just chasing their tail of like, where do we go setup-wise? I liked it. What were your thoughts?
Oh, man, I like the money, for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Coop said it was shit.
But,
Coop said it was just shit. He didn't like it at all.
I mean, I didn't like it. I mean,
Yeah.
I just like... I think because me and him too, like I was way more focused on Supercross before coming in, and like I'm racing these are like damn near outdoor. Like it felt like I was at the first run felt like I was at Charlotte GP that I did in 2016 or 2015, no 2016 I think, and you know I was just like I don't know, it felt like an outdoor, and my suspension was Supercross. It just wasn't working. I felt like shit. And then round 2 was even more outdoors. He still didn't have outdoor suspension. And and then obviously LA was better. It was more Supercross, which I was definitely enjoyed more. But I wasn't a massive fan. But hey,
Okay.
when that check came, and even though I blew it because I crashed that last race, I think I ended up getting 38 grand total.
Okay.
But it would have been like I think 75 if I didn't crash.
Oof.
So yeah, but it's all good. It still made decent money, and it was all right.
Well, one more question about LA and the series. In your YouTube videos, you used to put like some history stuff. You would talk about a race that happened at a particular stadium or whatever, and you'd put a little clip. So I know you know your history a little bit. What'd you think about getting a race in the Coliseum with the history that facility has?
Oh, that was sick. I'm glad I got to take that one off the box, you know, because who knows how much longer they'll have it there. Maybe, you know, if they keep the SMX races, maybe it'll always be there. But
I think they're done.
Football.
Yeah. Yeah. They just happen to have a break in the USC schedule this year.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Glad that I got to do it. You know, it was pretty cool. It was cool going up there and jumping back down, and it's just pretty historic. So I
didn't realize that you hadn't ever raced there before. They had
No, I think it was 90.
Oh, I thought in the mid 2000s, like when he was
Maybe.
on 250s, they may have had a race.
No.
there. Anyways, okay, sorry.
Unless you did X Games, which I don't think.
Oh, well, yeah, there was X Games.
Oh yeah. All right, sorry.
Yeah, no, so it was
Okay.
pretty cool.
Just a couple more for you, Dino.
Yeah, do you know I've heard you on other podcasts, and I think we've even talked about it a little bit on here before. And you've gone through a little bit of a journey of you kind of started getting just like random anxiety and stuff with your racing, and you've had panic attacks and stuff, and I've dealt with some of that stuff as well, and I've had my ups and downs with it. I just wanted to check in and see how you're doing and how that journey's been and where you're at right now. And I'm sure a win in Australia kind of helps that in some way.
For sure. No, that stuff's just like, oh man, it's the worst. Like, it's hard to explain this to anyone that's not dealt with this. And I don't know, like, I feel great right now. And but like these panic attacks and like, you know, I'm always kind of a high anxiety person, but just the last couple of years, it's got super gnarly to where like I literally thought I had a heart condition because my heart was just pounding nonstop. It wouldn't stop pounding. And I'm just like, what's going on? And it's just like, it's a scary feeling. Like you literally feel like you're going to die.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only way I can put it. It's a feeling that I've never had before. And it feels like, I don't know, you're at the end of the road. And then your anxiety really kicks in because then you're like, I start Googling my symptoms and then I'm like, oh, now I'm really going to die. And
Are you laughing?
I don't know.
What's wrong with
I'm
you?
laughing at him going down the rabbit hole, not the symptoms.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just scary, but like I've been feeling great lately, and like sometimes it's like deficiencies in your body. Like it's important to have like I've learned a lot. Like I take ashwagandha every day, and I take magnesium, and just like just I don't know. Sometimes it just comes out of nowhere too.
Right.
Like I can be feeling completely fine, and then like I'll just like, dude, I think I'm having a heart attack, and I'm like, I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, I did go to the heart doctor to get all these tests done because I'm like, I had heart palpitations, and like, it just wouldn't. It was like long lasting, So I was like, I don't know. I wanted peace of mind, so done that, and I did that post about it on my Instagram, and it was unbelievable how many people reached out to me. Like even a lot of racers and ex-racers, privately messaged me, and like, a lot of people deal with that kind of stuff that you wouldn't even think of. So
very common. Yep.
It's common, and it makes you feel better because when you go through a bad episode, you really feel like you're like the only. Yeah. I don't know. You feel very lonely, and like you're the only one going through this. But when you hear like other people go through this, it makes you feel better. You're like, okay, maybe I'm not. I don't know. You just get, like I said, it's hard to explain, but it's not a good feeling, and it's important to try and control them things.
Yeah, it's crazy how like hearing somebody else go through it too is like one of the things that's helped me with it the most, is knowing that it's like you're not crazy. It happens, it's part of life. And yeah. So I that's why I asked this, because I've been through it too, and I just wanted to check and making sure you were doing good, man.
Yeah. Oh no, thank you. Yeah. No, it's all good, and like that's why like I'm a big fan of Tyson Fury, because like he's pretty open about it, and obviously he's a boxing legend, and no, I think it's just like I don't understand why some people always like hold it tight to them, like it's like going to make them a weaker person or something.
Right. Well, and we've also, as motocross riders, have all hit our heads pretty good, so that probably doesn't help either. And so I'm sure that has something to do with it too.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It's such a weird deal, but feeling good now, so that's all that matters.
Awesome, man. I'm glad to hear it.
Dean Wilson Night, brought to you by Guts Racing. Let's close out with this. What if you could be remembered for one thing? What would you like it to be?
I don't know. Maybe just I don't know. Maybe just through the trial and error and injuries, that I've never gave up and pushed my way through and fought tooth and nail for everything that I've earned in my career. So maybe something like that. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people always know me for the championship, but it definitely got a lot harder after that part.
Yeah.
And I'm still here, and I'm still getting to do what I love, and so
one of the listeners said Grandpa Earl.
Oh,
I honestly, everyone, kids don't even know who Dean Wilson is. It's just Grandpa.
Yeah. Well, Dino, we're going to let you go, get back to the family, enjoy your night, and look forward to seeing you in a few months.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, Dino. Thanks, buddy. See ya.
Bye.
It's Dean Wilson tonight, brought to you by Guts. Dean, dude, a couple good interviews tonight. What do you guys think about the show so far?
It's been good.
I mean, we've had factory ride championship winners. I mean, it's good stuff.
Yeah, you guys are over there just laughing your butts off.
Dude,
at the chat. Like, what's going on in the chat room?
Oh, what if
they're just talking bad about you constantly?
Well, that's
well,
cool.
no, some of it was. What was I did make one joke earlier that was funny. Oh,
you made a joke that was funny?
He did.
I thought so. Yeah.
Oh, it was.
I mean, the group thought it was.
Okay.
I don't remember.
I'm not sure about our YouTube
was something
chat
about
group
Our
sometimes.
YouTube chat group is amazing.
Okay.
You
I
leave
trust
them
you.
alone.
I trust you, but when
they're on Scotty's side,
yeah,
you question.
it makes me question.
When it was one where it was like someone had asked how old Dean was, and I was like, I think he's 30, 31, but I'm not asking.
Oh, God.
And
yeah, it's just a good joke.
and there was one where it was like somebody said like to stop giving me crap, and I was like, someone was saying something good about me, and I was like, save the positivity for when next time I call the suicide hotline.
Oh yeah, he was going to drive his car into a bridge.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, FXR is designed by racers for racers. With industry-leading fit, finish, and performance, progression is the name of the game. With every new piece created, At FXR, we push our brand to the next level to provide you with the best product possible. Visit fxrracing.com to see the numerous gear lines and colorways, and the 2024 line is out. Go to your local dealership, check it out. Tonight, FXR brings us Orange Brigade's Luke Fauser. What's up, Luke?
What's going on, guys?
Not much, man. Glad to talk to you. So for you guys sitting here and the guys listening, Luke was at Next Level at the Verb Classic. I got a chance to go to dinner with his family and Daniel. Super cool kid. He's ripping right now. Luke, man, great to finally have you on. I told you we were going to get you on when we could, but I really, really enjoyed visiting with you that night.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It was great. Yeah, Next Level was sweet. I've been having a good time.
Dude, you were shredding there, but it seems like you're shredding everywhere. You went 1-1 this past weekend in Ponca for the 250B, 1-1 for the 450B, and then I guess you just kind of, I don't know what you did in the Schoolboy 2, man. You went 4-3.
Couple bad starts in the Schoolboy 2 and an early morning moto, and struggled a little bit to get like a good setting on the suspension, but we were able to adapt and get through it. And yeah,
so you're an up-and-coming kid. You've got 4, I think, Loretta Lynn's championships. You did miss this season this year's Loretta's with a broken wrist, but man, you're in this thing. You've been doing this a long time. Just kind of talk. I want to get to know you a little bit. When did you start riding? What got you into motocross?
Yeah, I started riding whenever I was like 3, and my dad got me into it and started riding like a little bit here and there, just like local races up in PA. But we bought some bikes off of a guy, and he mentioned like Loretta Lynn's to us, and we were like, oh. So that was like 2014 whenever that happened, and I ended up doing the regional for Loretta's and making it. And I didn't really start to like 2015. I went to Loretta's 2, and it wasn't bad. And then the next year after that, I went 2016 and won, which was a big surprise because, like, I mean, I was just riding on the weekends before and going to public school and whatnot. So yeah, and that's like really whenever it started. I got picked up by Orange Brigade in like 2017, got on 65s, and yeah, it's been a great journey since then.
Awesome.
Hey, so with the with your Orange Brigade ride, how does it feel to have that kind of support, and like where do you think that you would be if you didn't have a team and a guy like Daniel Blair on your side?
Without Daniel, he probably would have won the Schoolboy class too.
Yeah, he'd have been way
Daniel's
better.
just the worst.
No, yeah, it for the first like 5 years it was Nate Ramsey, and it was great. I mean, I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for this. I've been on Orange Brigade for like 7 years now, and I really wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for it. And it's just a big help with bikes every year. And Daniel Blair has really stepped up this, like, the team now. I mean, it's great. It's not really Orange Brigade anymore. It's like KTM Factory Elite is what I'm on.
Right.
And I get really good suspension, a good motor, and pretty much everything I need to go out there and win, you know. And it's Daniel Blair's been great mentor, but like my favorite like manager guy that I've had on the team, and yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I love Daniel, so I like giving him crap, but he really does have a passion for this. You know, when he took it over last year at Loretta's, you could tell something was really important to him. So what kind of things does he help you with or talk to you about that you feel is very beneficial?
He helps me. Well, obviously he's the media guy, so he's really good at media. So he helps me out with that, which I'm very grateful for that. And then anything I need, like I can just call him at any time, and he really believes in me, which is great. And yeah, like anything, I can call him at any time and ask him anything I need. And yeah.
So when you have a moto that's not great and you got some bad starts, you said this weekend, like what does he talk to you about? Is he I know the answer to this, but is he the kind of guy that comes over and is like, you know, what the hell's going on? Or does he give you words of encouragement, give you some, you know, some things to work on? How does he handle that?
So I had a bad moto at Ponca.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't bad. I got like third, but I was struggling with the suspension and I was mad. I came off. I was like, that was terrible. And he's like, just pull a tear off and go back to the camper. And he always says you can be mad for 15 minutes. And then after that, snap back into it and get ready for the next moto. And that's what he says pretty much every time. And I take that advice and use it and come back and put my anger into the next moto and just do good.
Yeah, I like that.
So I was down there at Next Level on Saturday. I had to leave, so I missed Sunday whenever Daniel did his front flip. Did you tell him to just pull a tear
You mean
off?
when I beat him?
Yeah, when Darkside beat him. Did you? I'm glad. I'm glad I left. I almost stuck around, but we did have to leave. But anyways, did you tell him to just pull a tear off and be mad for 15 minutes?
Honestly, I didn't, and I don't know why I didn't think of that, but I was honestly scared. I went to go talk to him, and he was embarrassed. He was pissed. I was like, oh man, I better just leave him go and come back later. But yeah, he was getting after it in the mud. I mean, but he just gunned it a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Dude, I was the day before Saturday. I just all day long was ragging. I was like, why can't you race? This is your place. Why don't you race?
I know. And I told him there was like a electric like Suron bike race like the day before, and he was riding around Verb Suron. I was like, you should just do the Suron race for fun. He was like, dude, I don't race. I take care of you guys. And then somehow, I don't know if it was Dark that talked him into it or who, but somebody got him into it. And
it was Jace from Gypsy Tales. Jace,
yeah.
Was it?
Yep.
Yeah. And then, he went into the first corner and just bit it. So did Dark. He went and bit it.
Easy. We don't have to talk about me.
Whoa, wait. Hold up. We've heard all about this.
No, I told that story.
About you crashing?
Yeah, in the first turn because it was like real muddy, and I went to
Did you hear about this?
There was
the dude in front of me crashed, and then I tapped the front brake, and I was down.
Oh, that's awesome.
it was blue groove clay that was wet, so there's not much you can do.
I'm glad I left. I was in that Suron race. I almost won it, and then the kid beat me and then backflipped up the face.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, I thought Carson Brown won that. You didn't almost.
No, I got second the first moto, and then I was gonna win the second moto, but that kid was way faster than me.
What was Carson Brown doing when he was on
What
the
did you just say? I was going to win, but the other guy was way faster than me.
That's exactly what I said.
I almost won, but the 5 guys in front of me were a little bit faster.
I was second place. Yeah, I just want to say, fat dude on a Suron gets second place. Just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah.
Luke, so what does you're in the B class right now? What's the schedule? What does Daniel have you working on? When do you move up? What's 2024 look like for you?
So right now, we're gonna do a little bit of Supercross this upcoming week at Next Level, just like laying like the base down on the stock bike, and then after that, I'm gonna spend like 4 weeks getting ready for Mini-O's, and then after Mini-O's, I'm going out to California on the mod bike to do some Supercross out there for like 2.5 weeks, and then I do some futures, and then spring nationals, and we'll see how it goes after that. Maybe move up to A if everything goes good and I get a new contract and whatnot. But yeah.
How much Supercross riding have you done, if any at all? Like, are you ready for some whoops?
I haven't really done like a whole lot. I haven't done any like legit Supercross with with Supercross suspension. Like I've done some pretty beefed up amateur Supercross on the 125 with just moto suspension at GPF, but I haven't done any like full on.
Okay. Got
it. So that was one of the questions I had, was to kind of figure out where, if you're going to be doing the futures and stuff, is now that that's kind of getting a couple years into the routine and it's becoming a big deal and they have these combines, how are you looking at that? Are you looking at those as like that's your real time to shine, or is it still the main priority is your amateur nationals, your Freestone and then the Redas and that whole circuit? Where do you see yourself putting the most priority?
Yeah, and that's what me and Daniel just had to talk about. And like we were going to do more Supercross these upcoming weeks, but Daniel was like, we need to just get the base down laid on Supercross and then focus on the Mini-O's, the amateur nationals. But right before futures, I'll hammer down on the Supercross. Like I'll be getting ready for futures, but I don't see it as like, I see it as a time to shine, but I just see it as like a really good opportunity to go out there and do my best and show some skills and whatnot. But no, yeah, we'll just, once it comes time for amateur nationals, like motocross, we'll be full motocross for like weeks before.
With the futures, I think a big part of that is also learning the program, the way the schedule of the day, the media, not really media, but just like talking to the fans, talking to the team. Like there's a whole schedule that's very different than when you go to an amateur national that you're going to have to get used to, besides just racing a supercross track. I think it's a whole package, and Daniel's going to be very good at getting you prepared for that. And I look forward to it, man. I mean, it's pretty impressive what the up-and-coming riders like yourself are able to do these days.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I honestly can't wait because the amateur nationals I do now, I've been doing them every year for like the past, 7 years. So I like know what's going to happen, and I don't really know what the whole full like supercross program is. So, and to have somebody like Daniel behind me is going to be great to help me out through that. And yeah, it should be fun.
So I guess the plan will be with the futures is just to race that. But do you have like an actual step-by-step plan that like your parents and Daniel and everybody to get you to the pro stuff? Like, is it actually planned out, or is it, hey, we're just going to keep moving forward?
Pretty much just keep moving forward as it goes. Like, just see how I do with it, with futures and stuff. I have like a couple futures planned out, but if I end up doing, like, if I'm feeling really good on the practice track, I might end up doing more futures. And we usually we like make a plan, but we also like play it by like ear and see how it goes as we go along.
Yeah, Dark Side brought up a good point where he was talking about all the way it's looking for you guys as amateurs coming up. It does seem like the whole program and being a part of these teams like this and having the training facility has kind of come to full fruition, and you guys are a perfect example of that. I know there's a couple of guys that come to mind when I think of your caliber. Who are you looking at as like, that's the guy I'm gonna have to beat upcoming? Because it does seem like a lot of you guys share wins more than we kind of used to see in the past.
Yeah, I haven't really like thought about it yet. In my couple of the my trainer and stuff, like he's mentioned it to me, like that's the guy you're gonna have to like race against here soon. But I haven't put much thought into it, and I put some thought into like the futures who I'm gonna have to race against, and it's a bunch of the kids I've been like looking up to, like Gavin Towers. Like I trained with him for two or 3 years, like living with him and stuff, and I hadn't really ever raced against him, and now I'm like get to race against him in futures, so it's gonna be fun.
Let's close this thing out a little bit with who was your kind of your idol when you're growing up, if you had one in moto, and who would you like to pattern yourself after?
Do
you have like a riding style when you look at like somebody else and go, I want to ride like that? I think that's what I think is cool. Or
no, not I don't really like. I'm not like a riding style. Okay. I like my own style, but I never really like looked up to like any like pro riders. I like looked up to some like amateur riders like Seth Hamaker, because he was from Pennsylvania, but the other side of it. So I would see him at some like area qualifiers and regionals, and I was like, I want to be like him someday. And I was just on a little bike and he was on a big bike, and yeah, but I never really looked up to a pro, just like a couple of amateurs.
Okay. Guys, anything else for Luke? Well, look, dude, it's been really, I like getting to know you, man. I like kind of building the relationship with these amateur riders like yourself as you come up, and watching you improve and getting you on the show as you progress. So it's been really cool getting a chance to know you a little bit. And yeah, I think as much as I'd like to bust Daniel's balls, as I said, I think listening to him and having him in your corner is going to be really beneficial to you. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you progress.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course, man. Yeah, anytime. And yeah, we'll stay in touch. And once these futures happen, we'll probably be at a few of them. So we'll definitely come talk to you in the pits, and then yeah, we'll get you back on.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely, Luke. You have a good night. Talk to you soon, buddy.
Yeah, you too.
All right. That's Luke Fauser, brought to you by FXR tonight. Yeah, I think the kids, I think he's got a lot of talent, and Daniel really believes in him.
He's a good personality.
Yeah. So it's going to be good. All right, yeah, Luke Fauser, brought to you by FXR. Let's jump into the Motul TJ's Tech Tip.
Yeah.
We're going to find the Motul read. Motul, founded in 1853. I think I can get through this without flubbing it.
We haven't.
Not now.
You
just jinxed yourself.
Right in the middle of it.
Yeah, you already did.
No, that wasn't a flub. That was a pause.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I made a pause.
So start over. Let's see.
All right. Founded in 1853, Motul is a 170-year-old company that is present in over 160 countries globally, offering exclusive technologies in their patented ester core technology for your machine. Motul's experts have developed a wide range of dedicated products for the specific requirements of each powersports vehicle.
Experts?
I didn't say the word wrong. I just said it weird. I just said it weird. Visit your local dealership and ask for Motul products, including the Shine and Go and Motul 300V.
You knew we were going to find something.
Yeah, as soon as I said it, yeah. I was like, experts. TJ, what's your experts tech tip tonight?
Well, we were talking to, I was at the shop working on a bike, and the notice that's a fork seal issue, and something to bring up when you're washing your bike. Always, it's more often than you think you should, pull down your dust seal on your forks, spray them out, clean them out real good.
So the rubber part at the bottom that's popped
that is not the seal. That's a dust seal. That's
so
a
you
dust
can pop
cover.
that. Yeah, you can pop that out.
So you take you take a little flathead screwdriver. Just be careful so you don't scratch anything. You wedge it in there. Turn the flathead screwdriver
between the fork and the rubber, or the rubber and the outer tube.
The outer tube at the top of the seal, and you just turn it pops down. Twist it. It pops down. It's real easy. Clean it out. And my tech tip would be to use an oil. What we use is Remington gun oil.
Oh,
Something like a silicone spray.
Okay.
So Motul makes a silicone spray. You could use their stuff, and you spray it in there before you put the seal back on, and that just helps lubricate and keep the seal itself, which is not the dust cover, but the actual seal itself, keep it moisturized and from drying out. Because what winds up happening is the soap that we use to clean our bikes with will get past that dust seal over time and then dry that fork seal out. And then there's dirt in there, and then that's what causes a lot of fork leaks.
I like that. I've never done that. I have taken the business car or whatever and kind of scraped around the inside to kind of try to get any dust out of there or dirt.
All you got to do is just drop that down, slide it down, clean it off, and then, you're good to go.
Who knew, Scotty?
No, I didn't. Actually, I
clearly you didn't, because you didn't even type.
What's funny is I didn't even, I was listening to the chat and I didn't miss the tech tip.
He also forgot his drain plug.
Yeah.
Wow. Scotty.
I was doing my video, one of the videos today for my YouTube channel.
Moto Heads Garage?
A Moto Heads Garage and a shameless plug. And when I was tightening down the drain plug on doing the service, I said it in the video, which none of my viewers, most of my viewers won't get it, but I'm like, don't forget to tighten your drain plug like Scotty forgot to.
Dude, if you're in the chat right now or you're listening, just go to YouTube and follow a Moto Heads Garage. Yeah. Even if you don't watch his video, it's just, watch them and just leave them on the background. You don't have to pay.
I am officially monetized, and I am on track to make $50 this month.
$50
this month.
That's awesome, dude. That's about what I spent on oil to do my oil change in my truck today. So
see,
that would have been awesome. I did change the oil in the Kawasaki after Swan this weekend. I didn't have to think twice about tightening the drain plug. I know to do that.
Yeah.
It makes all the sense in the world.
So it makes sense.
Because you know what? If you don't, the oil falls out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you don't ride for over a year.
It technically was tight, just wasn't tight.
It's actually kind of benefited him because he didn't ride a lot before, but now he's just getting to ride other people's bikes.
Yeah, he rode my YZ like a week ago and crashed it, and then, I mean, the last time he rode one of my bikes, he just loaded up and left it in the truck, didn't clean it. This time he crashed it. Yeah. He did take it home and wash it, but he crashed it.
And
did you leave it bent?
No.
Oh, okay.
And then he brought my.
Did you just straighten it by grabbing the bars and putting your leg around the front wheel?
I found a telephone pole.
So you didn't.
Jesus.
So when you go out there, Dark Side, this is another quick.
I'm not letting people ride my bikes anymore because I let somebody ride the Husky and they wrecked it and then just bent the fender.
Make sure you on one side of the fork.
Yeah.
One side loosen the top, and on the other side loosen the bottom. Loosen the clamp bolts on the front wheel. Straighten everything, and then tighten it. Torque it back down. Usually around 15.
You say tighten it back? Is that what you tighten the bolts back? Okay. I need to write that step down just in case. X-Brand is quietly growing into one of the premier goggle choices available, using some of the most grueling conditions by GNCC champion Lyndon Snodgrass, pro champion Bryson Neal, Craig DeLong, Josh Strang, Grant Baylor. And on the Supercross side, many riders like Freddie Norn, Kyle Chisholm, Ryan Brees have all trusted X-Brand. Hunter Lawrence won a championship in X-Brand goggles. Just, they're, what's the word I'm looking for? They're branded with Alpine Stars, but they are X-Brand Lucids. Visit your local dealership and ask for X-Brand, distributed through WPS, or even just go to xbrand.com to see the colors available. I'll be in X-Brand at Ironman in just over a week's time. I'll be in X-Brand this weekend at Millville if you guys are coming up. Hope to see you guys there. X-Brand forum check-in. This is kind of a bummer. We haven't had a chance to talk about this. But, yeah, HDog21 on the Vital MX forum posted, hey, Vegas to K-Dub just posted, this is a week ago, on his IG that Jeff Alessi passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hadn't talked about that. Last I heard, it was a heart attack. Don't really know any details other than that. But, yeah, just a bummer. Staple in the industry. Obviously, his dad, Tony, team manager at Moto Concepts, his brother Mike, very well-known racer. Jeff was a well-known racer in his day.
I would think that there have to be, and this is just me, like maybe an underlying condition because he wasn't that old.
It's hard to say. I don't know what he had going on. Yeah,
there's no way he's over 40, right?
No, he's same. Well,
He's
Scotty.
He's my age.
Oh yeah, okay. Which is, how old are you?
What? You want to ask how old somebody is?
I mean, in this moment, it's actually relevant.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm 32. I think he's about the same age as me.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
Yeah,
just thoughts and prayers.
And Jeff, I've met him quite a few times at Burleson.
I never met him, actually.
He used to go to Burleson.
He came to Johnsonville a few times, too.
Yeah,
I think he even did a school at Johnsonville.
Yeah, he used to train out at Underground, too.
Yeah, he was a really nice guy. I talked to him a bunch.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he would ever recognize me or know who I am, but we just random conversation. He was.
You think he's
cool.
better known? I don't even want to bring it up. Never mind. We're gonna move on.
Yes, he's known. That's what he's.
I was gonna bring up Lasergate, but
that's definitely what he's known.
He is most definitely known for laser.
Let's talk a little bit before we do the Pro X highs and lows and the 60 emails. That's what we'll close out with. You rode at a fairly unique place this weekend, TJ. It's like a pit bike.
No.
E-bike. Well, right now.
No, it's Madden MX Playground.
Madden, like
the guy,
John Madden.
The guy who owns the place. No, his name is John Madden. I'm not even joking. Like he's like, I'm just saying.
Does he like turducken?
Yeah.
And his whole track.
So you see here, they'll put a turf on the track, and
he did. Like
you see the way it went, boom, right there, boom, just like that.
I mean, y'all are not far off the truth. But anyways, he has like 3 or 4 old football fields worth of AstroTurf.
It's even funnier that it's football fields.
Did he have a bus?
Yeah. So you see, the goal of a double is to take off on one side of the double and land on the other side.
You go, boom.
But the problem is he would probably, after talking to him, because he hung out with us for most of the day when we were there, he would laugh about these jokes too. So, and his wife, she was awesome. I told her, I was like, did you feel like you got like swindled when you realized it wasn't the John Madden? But anyways, the track was really cool.
So it's a turf track.
It's turf. It is AstroTurf or whatever.
Did you not see his post?
I did. But the people listening.
Yeah, the people haven't. So,
Scotty, do you not know how a podcast works?
Continue.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so they've taken the turf and built, right now he has a pit bike track and maybe two, like a straightaway and 2 big jumps that were dirt bike, like full-size bike size, covered in turf. And he comes from Washington. He was living up there. I don't know how long he's been here in Texas, but less than a year or so, maybe a year. But anyways, he had a track up there. He said his track up there was like a little riding area. If you go to Madden MX Playground and the stuff you see there that's not like super recent was from up there, it was there for like 6 years. He said it held up with big bikes on it. And
you said a lot of traction.
Nothing but traction. Like when you get on that turf, you think, as soon as I go to a corner, I'm going to slip out. It was pure traction and it was pure fun. The thing I'm worried.
Go ahead.
I'm worried about is a lot of people are going to be like, I'm not going to waste my time going over there.
That's dumb.
That's dumb.
I think that's exactly what I said to you.
But it is not. It is. And other people have said that. They need to give it a chance.
Yeah.
Now, is it going to be a full-on racetrack? Is it going to change motocross? No. Is it going to be a place that you're going to want to go ride, hang out, have fun? The way that he's building the jumps, like this dude didn't know how to turn a dirt bike when he bought one. This is what he's telling me, that he actually just wanted to jump it. And so his jumps are
straight rhythm,
like perfect. Yeah, he would be really good for straight rhythm. But anyways, I'm really excited. He's going to build a full-size vet track that is completely turf. He's building 2 miles of trails through the woods, like single
That's
track.
not turf, is it?
That's going to be turf.
Jesus.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's
okay. Like It does sound fun to me, like if you have an e-bike or maybe even a pit bike. But on a big bike, I'm like, okay, there's no ruts, there's no burn, like there's no. Well, I guess our burns.
You're terrible
there's no
at ruts anyways.
There's no breaking bumps. There's no.
It's not.
It's just.
It's for just a fun place to
Yeah,
ride.
it's just like a video game. Like it's basically like Mad Skills.
Yeah, and we were going.
Maybe that would be fun. I shouldn't say anything negative because I haven't tried it.
Yeah.
It seems odd. I mean, it is odd.
It is odd. And when you hear it, you're like, this guy's crazy. But he's not a moto guy.
Yeah.
And so he looked at what the dirt jump guys were doing with carpet and was trying to emulate that on his place in Washington. And I'm sure Washington gets obviously a lot more rain and moist, like dirt and hard to maintain. Once he gets this built, like one of the jumps, he had sprinkled like Sack
Sugar?
Creek. All on the lip of the jump, and then that way when it dries, he can roll the sand. I mean, roll the turf over it, and the lips never go away. There's no kickers. It's perfect.
Okay, yeah. I guess I need to go out and check it out. It's Madden what?
It's called Madden MX Playground.
Okay,
and they're on Instagram.
Yeah,
and Sporting Woods said turf is slick as hell, and it's not. I don't know if it's because of like the little rubber dust that they put in it makes it grip, but it's pure traction.
But you did not ride it on a big bike, so
I did not.
Not really. We can't really say how that, but you rode it on.
I rode it on the Suron, on my pit bikes, and even Doc was like, I mean, if you watch, I had like a little short put up and some stuff on my Instagram.
A reel.
And
it looked like a clip from like a travel channel.
Yeah, and then
oh yeah, I saw.
And then he yeah, I know what you're talking about. But John put some videos up. It's like he even said there's pure traction on the big bikes. So I'm excited. I can't wait for him to get this thing finished and opened up. I'll probably be out there a lot because it was just fun.
Yeah.
It's something different and fun.
Well, as I said, I'm back. I've been not comfortable, as I'm sure I've said on here a bunch of times on that Kawasaki. I haven't been able to figure it out. I rode last Monday or Tuesday at my local buddy's track here, 6 Feet Under, Steve, who's been in the show before. And it was one of the worst days of riding I've ever had, where I was just like, I was depressed. I was like, I don't know. I'm not having fun. I can't figure this bike out. Like in some corners and straightaways, the bike is pushing. In other straightaways and corners, it's tucking. I don't know how to fix this. I was just so frustrated. And I talked to Kiefer and I talked to ML, and yeah, everybody's like, just go back to your base settings, drop your forks back down to flush, and start over. So I did that. And then I went back to the track Friday night, and I couldn't believe how good it was.
How did you get yourself in that like testing hole? Like for the guys for the guys who are listening and people who are listening, you kind of give a synopsis of help them who are maybe dealing with the same thing.
Well, coming off the Husky that I was so insanely comfortable on, this bike, as soon as I got it, felt very soft, the first time I rode it, felt like it was floating. So Kiefer said, well, raise your forks like 10 mil or whatever. He said 5 mil.
Yeah.
So I did. And I was chasing that. And then he said, look, everybody's telling me that Kawasaki 450 has probably the softest suspension of any OEM. And I was noticing how harsh it was at next level. Like it was just beating me to death. But I felt like it was beating me to death because it was too soft. So I just kept going stiffer and stiffer and stiffer. I was stiffening everything up. And then I watched some of the Vital suspension videos that ML put up in the years past, and they really made sense. So I went back and I changed some high-speed stuff, and it felt better at next level. But then when I got home, it just felt crazy. It just didn't feel right at all. So I just didn't know where to go anymore because it was pushing and tucking, which is the opposite reaction. So I was just at a loss. And I was also a little bit scared of the 450 horsepower, just a little bit more than I feel like I needed. So those things were a mess. But once I made these changes last week, I went back out there Friday night with the plans of going to Swan MX on Saturday and riding all day. And it was like, holy crap, the bike turned. The bike did everything I wanted Friday. And I got back to jumping things again and feeling comfortable. And I was excited. And then I rode all day Saturday at Swan in Tyler, Texas. And I just, I felt really good.
It's funny how you say it because you had you had raised the forks up in the clamps,
yes,
which would pull the front wheel in, which would make the bike want to turn but be less stable. But you're saying that by dropping the forks down, it actually helped it be more stable in the turns?
originally.
No, now.
I dropped the forks down, so it's so the front end's higher.
So the clamps here, you had the forks raised.
Yes, originally, yeah.
So what's that?
Now it's flush with the cap, not like flush, but at the bottom of the cap. Yeah, and it just seemed to take away the floating that I was having, or the tucking that I was having.
So that makes sense, because as you do that, you're bringing the front wheel under the bike, and that makes it turn harder. Makes it turn sharper. So you're actually steepening the rake angle. So so that was causing it to, I guess, bar swap and all that kind of stuff.
All I know is I was happy finally, and the power of the bike still is more than I really want, but I felt really good. I rode. I do definitely get more tired on the 450 than the 350. Like it wears me out. But I was really excited because I thought I was going to go to Millville, not wanting to ride the thing.
Right.
And now I can't wait to ride it. So I'm very excited about doing that. So I feel like I'm back, quote unquote, sort of a joke.
Well, yeah, because I will say I've only seen you ride it, a couple of times, and when we all went to Steve's house, and you were riding that Husky.
Yeah.
And then I was like, dude, like Dark Side's got like so much more smooth and better, like more solid, and then I saw you were riding last weekend at the Pro Challenge on the Cowie, and I was like, you didn't look.
Friday night when I did the race,
before you
because you said, and a couple people was like, dude, you don't look comfortable.
You don't look nearly as comfortable as you did on that Husky.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't have the confidence.
So when you get to Millville, if you notice that same feeling again with the front end that you were trying to fix, just add a little more sag in your rear end.
That was another thing. So we checked my sag. The last time I checked it was at Club MX, and I had only rode it like once after that.
Yeah.
And we set it to 101 or 102 somewhere. I can't remember. But when I checked it, when I got Tuesday night, it was like at 90.
Yeah.
So that wasn't helping. And Steve was like saying, hey, the rear end doesn't look right. Like it looks like it's low, I think is what he said. But
90 would make it high.
Because it was stiffer. No, you'd loosen it. It would raise the bike, wouldn't it? When you loosen it, or I guess it'd have more sag. Well,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he said it was too low. I can't remember. He said it was choppered, so it would have been low.
Yeah, which is weird. But anyways,
but then I fixed that.
Are we on a podcast or some sitting in the garage?
We're a bunch of people that don't. Or I'm a guy that doesn't really understand settings very well.
But this is good. This is good to learn. And for
guys that don't. Hopefully, there's other guys that are like us or me.
Yeah,
yeah.
So it sounds like with not enough sag and the forks slid up in the clamps, you had that front wheel way underneath you, which would make the bike super unstable and like not very confidence inspiring.
It was definitely not. So anyway, we'll move on. But I'm happy that it's better. And I don't think we're gonna do a show next week. I think I'm gonna try to get on a schedule.
I won't be here.
That's next week at all, right? So it wouldn't matter if we do one or not.
Yeah, I won't be here.
I'm going to try, Scotty, to get on a schedule where we're doing shows when Mathis isn't, to a degree. We may even go to every other week. I got to figure out how many off weeks we actually have available. So we're probably going to skip next week. Then we'll come back after the Ironman race. We can talk about Millville and Ironman, and maybe you'll get to ride someday. I don't know. We'll figure out what we're going to talk about. But
look how sad he looks when you said that. Just pure sadness.
Well, I would be too if I didn't get to ride. So, I mean, yeah, I get it. But anyway, let's wrap up with, we got Prox and 6D. Rooted in racing from motocross to off-road, supporting teams like Pro Circuit Kawasaki, Ampro Yamaha, and SLR Honda. Prox has been dedicated to supplying quality components since 1975. From complex jobs like an engine rebuild to simple maintenance like filters, chains, and sprockets, Prox aims to bridge the gap between OE quality and affordability. Find Prox at your local dealer or online retailer and visit prox-usa.com to search for parts. Prox highs and lows.
Good job.
Who wants to go first? I have mine ready to go if you guys don't.
I would say lows would have to be Christian Craig, unfortunately. I really thought that he would, it was a big ask, and I understand that. I thought that he would be more like 12-ish, 11-ish, 10th-ish. That would be my low. And my high would just be just how crazy the fans were and like how nuts that was. It was cool to see that many people being involved in the sport. And then I guess Kenny riding good too. That was cool to see.
Yeah. Just real quick, we got an email. We got from Shane Bagley. Don't forget, MotoXpod@gmail.com. Get involved with these highs and lows. Get involved with the 60 picks once we get back to some racing. Comments, anything you want to say about the show, any topics you want us to talk about, MotoXpodshow@gmail.com. But Shane Bagley said, hi, is Team USA giving it a go? Big respect to Aaron Plessinger, Christian Craig, and RJ Hampshire for repping our country. The low was Grant Harlan. Unfortunate to see him get injured in a gnarly crash. Hopefully he gets well before A1. So, yeah, thanks to Shane for reaching out. It's the only one we got this week. That kind of bums me out. We need more. Scotty, you got yours? Or TJ, you got yours?
I already did mine.
Yep, yes, you did.
You already did this. Yeah, I would say my high would be I start with my low. My low would be all the guys who didn't want to do it, like that didn't want to do the nations.
I don't believe there was that many guys that didn't
It
want
wasn't
to,
that
but that's
didn't
fine.
want to do it. It
Yeah,
was
I just don't believe there was that many guys that didn't want to, but that's fair, though. That's it's your low.
And my high was the fact that I got to watch it for free.
Okay.
I signed up for DirecTV for a free 5-day trial and then just canceled it.
So to watch the
replay on CBS Sports.
Oh, I thought you were saying you get to watch the live version for free. You just got basic cable for like 5 minutes.
No, for a couple hours.
3 hours. My highs are getting to go to Millville this weekend. My ride at Swan. 49ers kicking the ever-loving crap out of the Cowboys. Longhorns losing. What else? USC winning. Yes, there's some football ones. And then my low is definitely Grant getting hurt. Team Canada's ride. That sucked for them. I feel bad for those guys because I really like everybody in that group. And, yeah, of course, Jeff Alessi. Those are the lows. So, yeah, a bummer for sure. 6D. Hey, yeah, no more of those guys are gone.
Smooth.
I feel like I'm missing a page here. All right. Since its inception almost 12 years ago, 6D Helmets has been dedicated to the relentless pursuit of brain protection. From the original ATR-1 to its successor, the ATR-2, the goal is to develop a revolutionary design concept utilizing creative, forward-thinking technology that would change the market and improve the safety capabilities of the sports helmet. The helmet is the most important piece of protective equipment you will purchase, so visit 6dhelmets.com or go to your local dealership and ask for 6D. We're going to do 6D emails this week since we don't have a race to make picks on. I actually only have one right here, and this is if what the fuck was
We could just make picks of how many times you wrecked this weekend.
If you guys had 1 day left, how would you use it? Scotty?
Deep.
Huh?
Yeah, no. I have to. What, you're just going to ask me that and give me 4 seconds to answer?
Okay, I would probably go spend time with my family, eat a steak.
I'd go get life insurance.
Nah, you can't take it with you.
Hey, so that's all.
Yeah, and yeah, try to have as much sex as possible.
Yeah.
Which is once.
You just you got like full 24 hours?
Man, I don't know. Yeah,
Did I
one
not
day.
get any
One day,
parameters?
24 hours.
Dude, yeah, just cash out and just celebrate the last day, like go somewhere. I'd probably just travel, but not travel too much to where the whole time I would just spend like flying, like get like a private jet or go steal the private jet. I mean, what's going to happen? Like, you know, like the only thing that would suck is if you do all that stuff and then you don't die, and then now you're in federal prison for stealing a private jet or something. But
yeah,
but I don't know, just be crazy. Just like, why not?
Be crazy
Good
food.
Yeah, good food for sure.
Oh yeah, steaks, man. Ooh, good steaks.
You don't have to worry about.
TJ would just go to Wendy's and get his.
Yeah, he would get a mini Frosty.
And a Frosty.
No, I'd get the T-Rex burger.
And he'd probably buy a large Frosty.
Dude, have you seen the T-Rex burger?
Yeah, I've seen that. It's insane. It's like $48.
No, it's $27.
Oh, is it really?
You gonna tell us what you would do?
I told you I'd go get life insurance, take care of
That's
my
it?
family, like lots of life insurance.
Why? You can't take it with you. Yeah.
But I think I got a family to take care of.
Yeah,
I'm not like
they'll
I'm
be
not.
fine.
I have people who care
Get a
about me,
job.
unlike y'all who are loners.
Get a job.
Loner.
Okay, is that it? We're done?
I'm not a loner.
You're not married.
I'm engaged.
It's not
That
married.
doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
We live together.
Doesn't count. You could just walk away tomorrow and there's
So
no
could you, dude.
repercussions.
There would be repercussions.
Really?
Yeah.
He'd cry.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just another day in the office.
Okay, guys,
All
I think
right,
that's it
moving
for
on.
288. I want to thank our presenting sponsors, Racetech and Boyesen. I want to thank Prox, X-Brand,
Nothing.
Guts Racing, FXR, 6D, Motul, WUSA. I want to thank Cooper Webb, Dean Wilson, and Luke Fauser for jumping on. I want to thank you two dill holes for being here. Michael Lindsay for
I really feel that.
Yeah, appreciate it. I think that's it. Like I said, as of now, I'm going to say no show next week. That could change. Just stay posted. Keep a look at our social. We'll be back.